What's going on, YouTube? And welcome to Goal Line Hockey Live. We are live a few minutes here before 1 p.m. Eastern. Welcome to the Goal Line Hockey live stream. Today's big game is between the Washington Capitals and the New York Rangers. Welcome, guys, here to the Goal Line Hockey live stream. Um, let's get right into it. So we have a couple of big games on tap and a pretty good schedule early on this morning. We have a couple of matinee games to go over. Of course, our featured game starting in a few minutes between the Metropolitan Division rival New York Rangers and Washington Capitals. We'll talk about the Orlov trade, what else the Rangers and the Capitals could be doing here before deadline day. There's a couple of things going on for both teams that we'll discuss here today. We'll go over some interesting mock trades and let's see what happens. So shout out to Morgan. What's going on, Morgan? He says, "Hey Kev, I won my game 7-3. Great job, Morgan. I'm sure you were a part of that scoring. Hopefully you got a hat trick. Shout out to Morgan." And we're also watching the Oilers and Blue Jackets game. Kind of an interesting start there, as the Blue Jackets have a 1-0 lead on the Edmonton Oilers for the second consecutive game. The Oilers giving up a goal in the first couple minutes of the game, and they are currently on an East Coast road trip. Let's go. What's going on, PJ? So we're watching the Oilers Blue Jackets at the moment, but like I said, the Capitals and the Rangers is our featured game. So for each of these teams, there's a couple storylines. Once again, Jake Lecision and Vitaly Kravtsov out of the lineup once again for the New York Rangers due to roster management reasons. We can assume that has something to do with a Patrick Kane trade. Nothing seems to be official, but Elliot Friedman did give us an interesting insight this morning, and that gives us a little more credence into seemingly what's going on there. So let me see if I could find it for you guys. But meanwhile, while we wait for my phone to load, Dmitry Orlov was traded the other day to the Boston Bruins. A pretty big trade, honestly, for the Boston Bruins. They pick up a great mobile, puck-moving defenseman that could jump on the power play. He's actually got a very good, underrated shot. I really think that a guy like Dmitry Orlov is a great addition to an already pretty solid blue line in Boston. Not to mention, we also saw Garnet Hathaway go out the door for Washington, which obviously makes this game maybe a little bit less spicy. Hathaway is a guy that likes to kind of make things difficult, and we'll see how that kind of plays out. And this isn't loading, but Elliot Friedman basically said they're trying to iron out all the details and make this trade as best as possible. They don't want to mess this up. They want everything to be perfect in this deal for Patrick Kane. Apparently, there could be a third party involved. You have to assume it's a team like the Montreal Canadiens, the Vancouver Canucks, or, of course, the Arizona Coyotes. Those are the three teams to watch for ahead of this Patrick Kane trade. So it does sound like a third team could be involved here in order to facilitate this deal. This is the first game that Ovechkin is back. Rest in peace to Ovechkin's father, who passed away last week. He was out, and the Washington Capitals did not do well. They've lost 5 straight coming into this game, heading back to Capital One Arena. It's been a rough stretch here for the Capitals, and hopefully they could find a way in a matinee game, try and spoil the Rangers here, as the Rangers lost the other night 4-2, I believe, to the Detroit Red Wings. The Rangers are finishing up a massive road trip. They went through all of Western Canada, Calgary, Vancouver, Edmonton, went to Detroit, and now tonight finishes their series in Washington for the first of a second of a back-to-back. Tomorrow, we will see the Rangers again at home against the LA Kings. So kind of an interesting schedule here for the Rangers. They're picking up a bunch of games and trying to make a real push for the playoffs. You know, a lot of people have been saying there's been a lot of distractions for the Rangers recently with the whole Kane situation and this road trip. So we'll see how things go today. This is a massive game for the Rangers, trying to make a statement over another team in their division. Good morning, Daniel, your boy. What's going on, guys? Guys, make sure to get those likes up if you're joining our live stream. I appreciate that very much. As we get ready for puck drop here, The starters for the Washington Capitals, we got Darcy Kemper in between the pipes for your Washington Capitals. And for the New York Rangers, for the first time in a couple of days, Igor Shesterkin is back in between the pipes for this one. Guys, the Rangers play 2 games in a row. Tonight, they take on the Washington Capitals, and tomorrow they are back at MSG to take on. Oh, so the Capitals wearing their alternate uniforms, it looks like. That should be pretty cool. Guys, make sure to get those likes up. Urban, what's going on, Urban? Let's go. Let's go, guys. This is going to be a great hockey game. I'm really excited for this one. This is our first Rangers or Capitals game live stream. So get those likes up, guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. And guys, if you want me to answer your questions right away, make sure to leave a super chat. I will answer your question as soon as I see it. And like I said, the Rangers, this could be weird for Shesterkin. I don't know if Shesterkin is playing today. I would assume that he would get the start tomorrow at home. But again, you never really know. Usually teams like to have their starter, their number one guy, play the first of the back-to-back. But again, this kind of weird situation where they play a Metropolitan Division team on the road. And then tomorrow, maybe he plays both. We've seen a couple goalies do that recently, like Connor Hellbuck. It could be kind of an interesting situation here. I have a couple of interesting mock trades for both the Washington Capitals and the New York Rangers. So stay tuned for that. That will be coming up later here in the next little while as we get some of you guys coming in here. Guys, welcome, welcome, welcome to the Goal Line Hockey live stream between the Capitals and the Rangers. And they're getting ready. And the Rangers with 75 points, the Capitals with 62, as the Rangers are trying to maybe find a way to get back into the top of that division. They're 6 points back of the Devils and 9 or 11 points back of the Hurricanes. The Hurricanes are really taking care of business right now. They are a really, really big juggernaut. And maybe we'll talk about the Hurricanes at some point too, because I think they are due for a big move here as well. So we'll get into that, guys. Thank you so much for joining the chat. I love you guys commenting. Let me know your guys' thoughts this morning. Shout out to Shaka. What's up, Shaka? He says, grab a coffee, line up some donuts, and get ready for the first morning live stream on Goal Line Hockey. Yes, this is also our first matinee live stream. We've always done night streams. So if you guys want to watch, we do night streams a lot during the week. So stay tuned for that during the week. Yes, get those likes up, guys. Thank you so much. And the Rangers are coming out to Capital One Arena. This is going to be a great game. It's on ABC. I think it's on ESPN on ABC. So this is going to be a big televised game. So hopefully we get a good game with a couple of scraps maybe. You know, the Capitals may be playing a little bit desperate. You know, this is the first game since the Dmitry Orlov trade. So this could be one of two things for the Capitals. Either they kind of pull the plug, realizing that, you know, they aren't a playoff team, or with Alexander Ovechkin back in the lineup, the Capitals say, hey, listen, we got to start going out there. We got to throw some hits. We got to get into Trouba. We got to get these Rangers off of their game. They look a little vulnerable. They lost the other night to the Red Wings. This is kind of an interesting situation for the Capitals. And I think this is a statement game for the Capitals in terms of what happens down the stretch. Do they just completely fall out of the playoff picture, or do they kind of make a push back despite the Orlov trade? I think it's going to be very, very interesting. Guys, let me know real quick down below, how is the audio? Let me know down below, how is the audio? Guys, thank you so much for joining us here on this Saturday morning. And here on Long Island, it is snowing. So shout out to Long Island snow. We haven't had much of it this year. Guys, thank you so much. It's good, solid. It's great. Thank you, guys. All right, so what else are you guys saying here in the chat? Shaka said, I won't be watching because my feed is always behind. So I'll take your word for what happens. Okay, Shaka, thank you. Daniel, your boy, says, would you consider having a live scoreboard graphic, kind of like Hot Take Hockey? If I could figure out how to do that, I would absolutely do that. Shaka says, audio is good. In like 40 minutes, we'll see how it goes, like always. Yeah, guys, just continue to give me an update throughout the feed. The second that it gets a little choppy or laggy, let me know. We might have to do what we've done here and make another live stream, but don't worry about that for now. We're staying tuned. Stay tuned as we do. We're going to do a couple of mock trades today for the Capitals and the Rangers. So I'm pretty excited for what your guys' thoughts are on that. apparently, because the Capitals now have those coveted first round picks, they have two of them, the Bruins and their own. There's been rumors that the Capitals have indeed been linked to Arizona Coyotes defenseman Jacob Chychrun. Let me know what you guys think of Chychrun potentially going to the Capitals. I think Timo Meier has also been on the radar. I do have a Capitals mock trade for Timo Meier, so stay tuned for that as well. I think things could get quite spicy, and we have puck drop in Washington as the Capitals and the Rangers is officially underway. Hockey Saturday on ESPN. There isn't many things in the world better than that. So here is the latest report from Elliot Friedman here as you guys are in the chat. We've got Elliot Friedman saying this morning on Twitter, he said on Kane to the Rangers, he said the last 24 hours or so has been about lining up everything from cap situation to third-party trade partners. That's definitely an interesting little report there. To roster machinations to Kane's approval, making sure everything is in place. No deal is missed. We're grinding towards a conclusion. No one wants a misstep. And I think that's a very good point. This is a huge trade for everybody involved. Patrick Kane, number 88, going to another team is going to be quite weird. It sounds like Kane is really only shown interest in going to the Rangers. I wonder how much that's going to have an impact on the actual trade. Do the Rangers have to give up their first round pick in this trade? They have a little leverage. He won't go anywhere else. Is there a little bit of leverage here for the Rangers? That's something to watch for. So far, the Capitals kind of buzzing right now. And yes, it is not Ilya Sorokin, Igor Shesterkin in between the pipes for the Rangers. Yeah, so a pretty good push here early from the Capitals. They look pretty energized here to start this game. Pretty good start. We'll see what happens. So I think it's just oh, here we go. So things already getting feisty. Hedel, Truba's in there. Mikkola. Oh man, this is going to be a good hockey game. Braden Schneider, Matt Irwin. This is going to be a good game. Sorokin versus Igor. That is a great question. Daniel, your boy says, "What's your score prediction?" My score prediction between the Capitals and the Rangers. I want to say this can be a high scoring game. Do I really think it will be? Probably not. I'm going to go with 4-3. Rangers win this game in overtime. I think it's going to be a close game. Game winner for the Rangers. Panarin has been really, you know what? Filipino with the game winner, 4-3 Rangers in OT. That's my prediction for this game. Guys, leave your score predictions today between the Capitals and the Rangers. 4-3 is my prediction. Huge save by Shesterkin here in the first couple minutes. Big save on Dylan Strome. Shout out to Dylan Strome, who got that big extension a couple weeks back. Sorokin versus Igor. So Igor Shesterkin versus Ilya Sorokin. Who is the better goalie? That is going to be a debate that's going to go on for as long as time. Two really good goaltenders. But honestly, I think on any given night, either of them can stand on their head. In terms of head-to-head, Ilya Sorokin does have the head-to-head over Igor Shesterkin. So in that sense, I'll go with Sorokin. But both of them are very, very good goaltenders. And they're actually very good friends, too, which I think everybody wants to put them up against each other. But they're long-lost brothers, Igor Shesterkin and Ilya Sorokin. So shout out to those two Russian beauties for the Islanders and the Rangers. My prediction for the Edmonton versus Blue Jackets game, that's a great question. I could see that one being a high-scoring game. I'm going to go with 6-4 Edmonton. I think the Oilers have a ton of star power just looking to break out. They had a couple of big goals, a 7-2 win over the Penguins the other night. Screaming fire Hextall in PPG Paints Arena. McDavid with a penalty shot goal. Shout out to him. I'm going to go with 6-4 Edmonton in that game. I hope Columbus wins. Yeah, of course, PJ, because you're a Calgary Flames fan. And shout out to Dennis. Welcome to the chat, Dennis. Uh-oh, I think we got a penalty. Uh-oh. Is that who's 21? Is that Barclay Goodrow? So Barclay Goodrow taking a seat as the Capitals get an early power play in this one. Oh, that's a tough call. Nick Jensen kind of stepped on his stick. Tough call. And what do we got so far? The Blue Jackets with a 1-0 lead over the Edmonton Oilers. Interesting question from Shaka. He says, interesting jersey, Kevin. Do you think the Caps need a rebrand? The reason I would say the Capitals need a rebrand, guys, welcome to the stream. Do the Capitals need a complete rebrand? No. They need to get rid of the word mark logo, though. I think the Capitals word mark logo has to go. The Capitals secondary logo, this logo right here, is a mint logo. Make that your full-time logo on the jersey. Bought already for the Stadium Series. Make that a full-time thing. I think that's a really nice logo that the Capitals have. Get rid of the word mark. I think that is just such a corporate mid-2000s logo that needs to die. So let me know your guys' thoughts on the Capitals logo. Should they do a rebrand? And guys, we're also going to do some interesting mock trades. Capitals on the power play here in this game between the Rangers and the Caps. Interesting mock trades for both the Capitals and the Rangers. So stay tuned for that. Welcome to you guys joining the chat here. Make sure to get the likes up and subscribe to Goal Line Hockey for the latest live streams here on the channel. I appreciate the support. All right, so we're going to do something here a little bit. So we're going to get into some of my mock trades. So for the mock trades, we're going to start off with the Washington Capitals. What could the Capitals do at the deadline? Guys, thank you for getting those likes up. You guys are the best. So Timo Meier to the Washington Capitals. What do you guys think of that? So the idea for this trade for Timo Meier potentially going to the Washington Capitals is you're trying to get the next goal scorer past the Ovechkin era. Ideally, if you're the Capitals, you're signing Timo Meier long term. You're signing him to that 8-year extension, right? So if they bring in Timo Meier, what is it going to cost? Well, it's going to cost you your recent acquisitions in terms of first round picks. So you're trading your first round pick from the and the Capitals get the first goal of the game. They look hyped for that one. I think it was David Gustafson or TJ Oshie. And the Capitals on the power play with a 1-0 lead. You know, that's why I think Timo Meier is a good fit, right? And I think Shaka would like this too. I think Timo Meier going to the Capitals allows Ovechkin to maybe go out, gracefully, right? And not all the goal scoring pressure is on Ovechkin moving forward. I think that's really what you're looking at here, right? You want to diversify some of that goal scoring. We've seen with Ovechkin out of the lineup the real lack of scoring from this team, and a great shot by Gustafson, even better tip by TJ Oshie, and the Capitals with a power play goal here in the first 5 minutes. Huge goal for the Capitals, and to get those fans some energy here in this one. Yeah, the Capitals have struggled to score goals, and they're kind of disproving my point here. But with Ovechkin out of the lineup, it was clear that the Capitals had a lack of goal scoring. Things getting a little bit scrummy here early in this one in DC. So here's my trade. So you have the 2 first-round picks that the Capitals have in this year's draft. You have the Bruins pick and their own. You're also trading, I know that Capitals fans might not like this, one of Hendrix Lapierre or Connor McMichael and another AHL player, whether that's a guy like Joe Snively or Beck Malenstein, going to San Jose. In exchange, the Washington Capitals get their guy. They get Timo Meier. I think it's a really interesting idea. I think what you're looking at with this trade, again, I know Capitals fans aren't going to like the idea of trading a guy like Connor McMichael or Hendrix Lapierre, but that's probably what this deal is going to take if you want Timo Meier. There's a lot of teams around the league that are looking to get Timo Meier. So if the Capitals want to stand out, they want to make that big splash, it is going to cost them a guy like McMichael. So let me know what you guys think. Shaka, what do you think of that? Yeah, I know I said it a couple of times. Not going to happen, but I like the out of the box thinking. So, what do you think of a guy like McMichael, though? Because I think Connor McMichael is seen as a pretty good prospect or a highly regarded prospect. Maybe even a guy like Alexander Alexiev. What do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts on that mock trade as we kind of get things rolling. I also have an interesting one for Jacob Chikrin to the Capitals, and I want your guys' thoughts potentially on that as well. Urban says, I love the old school black jersey. Yeah, that is a really nice looking jersey. I think that what is that? I guess that's the White House or the Capitol building. The Capitol building jersey is a very nice touch. I would love to see them bring that back at some point as an alternate uniform. Um, Shaka says, I think it could work, but the Sharks are so zeroed in on the Devils and Canes that it's too late for the Caps. All right, we'll see. Urban says curveball, Chikrin to Mini. I want to see what Billy G does here because he's made some of these weird moves that have kind of been like not a great message to his team. So I would love to see Chikrin go to the Wild. I think that would be an interesting choice. PJ says, why would the Sharks sign Hurdle long term but not Meyer? That's a great question, PJ. I think it's some of the nostalgia toward Hurdle and Couture. I think those signings will come back to bite them in both Couture and Hurdle. Um, I think it's one of those things that, unfortunately, I think the fan base and the perspective at the time was that the Sharks had that bad season and could turn it around. But obviously, we've seen that's not the case. The Sharks just don't have the depth. And Shaka will tell you firsthand, they just don't have the depth. They don't have the goaltending. It's just not enough consistency in that Sharks core for them to be a playoff team right now. And I think they're doing the right thing. They're doing the patient approach, which is rebuild this thing on the fly and kind of rebrand it. And to be honest, I think ideally you don't want to trade Timo Meyer, right? That's a guy that you'd like to see it through with long term, but I think they're looking at other plans here. They're trying to get more prospects and draft picks, and it is going to be a guy like Meyer that has to go out the door. Urban also said, article on The Athletic, he's got a lot in the works. Okay. He also said, the team's play would tell him, and he said the play says they're serious. Okay. Dennis, welcome to the chat. Dennis, he says, I think New Jersey could offer more than anyone else to get Timo. Shout out to Kemper, a big save. The Rangers only have one shot, or their second shot of the game here in the first 8 minutes. The Capitals are buzzing early. Power play goal, and it's 1-0 Capitals here in the first period. Yeah, I think that's what it's going to come down to, right? I think the Devils have I think it's not even necessarily that the Devils they have the best assets. They have the most assets where maybe they'd be willing to give up their number one asset because they have so many good prospects that even if it costed them, and I don't think they're trading Nemec or Hughes, but even if they did trade Dawson Mercer, it wouldn't even be the end of the world for the Devils. And I think they're going to do everything in their power not to move Mercer. But I wonder if that could end up being the holdout. If the Devils don't trade Mercer, I wonder if that could be an interesting thing. And I think at the end of the day, I think Alexander Holtz is a great fit for the Sharks. He'd be realigned with a guy like William Eklund, who he has some connections with in terms of their ethnicity and playing together in the past. I think Eklund and Holtz is just a match made in heaven. I think it's just a matter of time before that deal gets done. The Devils have so many good prospects on the back end as well, which Washington doesn't have for a trade for Timo Meyer. So again, I think it will be the Devils and the Jets. If the Jets are willing to if it comes down to a trade where it's like Dawson Mercer or Cole Perfetti, which of those teams is willing to give up that guy? And if both teams are willing to give up that guy, which one do the Sharks want more, Perfetti or Mercer? Let me know your guys' thoughts on that. Morgan, what's going on? Morgan, he says, hey, Kev, is Korpisalo most likely the only trade that Vegas makes over the deadline? I don't think that's the case. I think what we're looking at with the Vegas Golden Knights, I could see them adding another forward like a bottom six depth forward that can have the possibility to jump into the top six. I know that's not Patrick Kane or Timo Meyer, but I could look at a guy like Max Domi, Ivan Barbashev. There's a couple of interesting names that could end up going to Vegas, potentially alongside a goaltender like Jonas Korpisalo. But thank you, Morgan. I think they could be in store for potentially two moves here. PJ says, I think the Flames should trade for Chikrin. He would improve the Flames' power play. If I was Brad Treliving, I wouldn't mind giving up Chillington, a 2023 first, a 2024 second, and prospect. Is it Emile Poirier? The problem is, though, PJ, I think they're going to want Jakob Peltier or Connor Zary. Would you be willing to give up one of those guys? Because, like I said, I think for a guy like Chikrin, I think there's going to be better offers than that. And I think the Coyotes are pretty firm, just like the Timo Meyer situation. Both of those teams want 2 first-round picks and a very good prospect as the starting package in a deal. And the Rangers, Barclay Goodrow getting some revenge. He was in the penalty box for the first Capitals goal, and Barclay Goodrow and the Rangers have tied the game at 1 in Washington. Big goal there. A lot of Rangers fans in attendance down there in DC. And we have a tie hockey game in New York and a kind of a fluky goal, a tip in by Goudreau. So we have 2 tip in goals here in the first 10 minutes. Yeah, this could be a high scoring game. My 4-3 prediction is standing pretty tall right now. So Barclay Goudreau factors in both goals for the Capitals and for the Rangers. And the Rangers and Capitals are tied at 1. And like I said, guys, if you want me to guarantee that I answer your super chat, and Oshie and Lingering kind of caught up, things are getting a little bit freaky in Washington here early on. And Lingering looks hurt. That's not good. That is not good. Uh-oh. And he's getting off on his own power behind the bench, but Lingering definitely looks a little uncomfortable. And if that's his knee, ooh. That's why you trade for Nico Mikkola, because a Ryan Lindgren injury. That's kind of a dirty hit by Oshie. I think he realized it right away and like, oh, I didn't mean to do that, but he pushed him right from the back. Not a great hit there by Oshie. And the Rangers, yeah, Gallant's rightfully so mad. Rightfully so. Could be a wrist injury. Yeah, that was a hit from behind by TJ Oshie. Interesting non-call. I don't know if they didn't see it or they think that Oshie, again, whether Oshie did it by accident or not, it doesn't really matter, right? Like, guys don't mean to trip guys, but it's still a tripping call, right? So we'll see what happens there. Could be a wrist injury. That could be really bad news if Lindgren's out. But again, not to say that it's not it's still a tough blow, but bringing in guys like Nico Mikkola up, maybe make this injury a little bit less invasive, which could be huge. And we've got to fight TJ Oshie and Barclay Goudreau. Wow. And Goudreau is he went right after Oshie. Wow. What a start to this hockey game. Oshie throwing a couple punches. Goudreau throwing a couple punches. What a start to this hockey game, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. Shout out to Barclay Goudreau. He is making his name noticed here in the first 10 minutes. Daniel, your boy, says Goody's got his name all over the score sheet, not even 10 minutes in. Maybe he heard what I said last night, that you do the math on the Patrick Kane trade, Barclay Goudreau, in my opinion, is out the door. In order, even with the 50% salary retention, Barclay Goudreau could be on his way out of New York. And I wonder if they said something to him, and now he's a little bit PO'd. I wonder if this is Goudreau kind of getting the messaging of what's been going on here. This is great to see from number 21 of the New York Rangers. Shout out to Barclay Goudreau. Man, he just went right at him. And that's the code right there. TJ Oshie having to answer the call. I think he's okay with it. He understands it. But, man, the Rangers, this is good stuff here early on in this hockey game. Morgan says I'm on the West Coast, so everything you say, I'm like 10 seconds behind. Okay, my bad, guys. Urban says Vegas is looking for a scoring winger with the captain out. And I hate to say it though, Urban, I think, and Morgan says like Brock Besser. I think Brock Besser is an interesting player too for Vegas. The problem with Besser is it's the salary. He's making a lot of money and there's some term on that deal. So it might be tougher for, we got a penalty. It might be tough for Vegas to get that deal done. Again, it might be a third party situation, but Besser to Vegas could be interesting. I think they're more likely to just give up the first round pick, get a guy like Max Domi or Ivan Barbashev. I think that's what you're looking at for Vegas. But Brock Besser is an interesting player. I think he's a good fit there. Again, I think because of the salary cap situation, it could be tough. If he was a rental, absolutely, Besser's a great fit. But because it's past this season, it's going to be tougher to circumvent the salary involved. Best part of the best part of the sport. We love fighting. Yes, shout out to Morgan. And guys, if you have not already, make sure to get the likes up for this stream. It helps us out here at Goal Line Hockey. And the Rangers are on the power play for the first time this afternoon. We'll see what happens here. Kind of a weird start. Tom Wilson lays kind of a weird hit on, who is that? Number 77? Is that Mikkola? So the Rangers are on the power play here. And we'll see if the Rangers, this is a kind of important penalty kill for the Capitals, who had all the momentum, that early power play goal. And now the Rangers score a goal, get in a fight, and now they've got a power play. This is kind of huge right now for the Capitals. And the Rangers with a chance to really take some momentum here and take some momentum back from their kind of slow start. The Rangers got off the bus like 5 minutes late. Morgan said, I'm surprised Tom Wilson hasn't started a scrum. Give it enough time, Morgan. I'm sure if we say Wilson's name 3 times in the mirror, he will get into a fight. And the Capitals, oh, they almost got a shorthanded goal. That would have been interesting. All right, so I'm going to do another mock trade for you guys here. So the Washington Capitals, what do you think of this headline? Jacob Chikrin to the Capitals. And Filipino goes down. Uh-oh. And it looks like, I don't know where it looks like his wrist. Jesus, are the Rangers going to lose 2 guys already with wrist injuries? No, Hedl can't be hurt. I need him for the OT winner, 4-3 Caps. And it looks like Kuznetsov's going to the box. So the Rangers with a 5-on-3 power play. And they're kind of reviewing it. I don't know what's going on here. Yeah, Hedl's definitely banged up. And he has been, shout out to Filip Hedl. He has been hot for the Rangers. Oh my God. Kuznetsov speared Hedl right in the dirty bags. Wow. Kuznetsov, what the heck was that? So the Rangers get a 5-on-3 power play. So apparently Hedl got hit in the bean bags. He got his bean bag tapped. And it looks like the Rangers have a 5-on-3 power play. Hopefully Hedl's okay, but I don't think that's a long-term injury. That's just wrong by Kuznetsov. Like, it looked so innocent because he kind of just did it passing by, but that's a penalty. And I don't get what the Capitals are doing here. They're down a man. Now they're at 5-on-3 to the Rangers. Just not a good move here. All right, so let's get into my mock trade. Urban says, now let's have someone fight over. The game is complete. So Jacob Chikrin to the Capitals. So here's what I'm thinking here. So now they're reviewing. It's an official review of the penalty. That is, I've never seen that before. This is crazy. So Jacob Chikrin to the Capitals. So the Capitals get Jacob Chikrin. Oh, it's a major penalty review. Thank you, Morgan. So, and that would be killer if that's a 4-minute penalty. So Washington gets Jacob Chikrin. In exchange, the Arizona Coyotes get those 2 first-round picks this year from the Capitals. Hendrix Lapierre, and Alexander Alexiev. So your second best forward prospect and your best defensive prospect. Now, Alexiev has indeed struggled a little bit for the Capitals. Spent a lot of the season with the AHL's Hershey Bears. I still can't believe this. So a 4-minute major for that might be a little bit much, if I'm going to be honest. But at the very least, a 2-minute penalty. And I think that's what they decided. It looks like he straight up cup checked him straight in the jewels. Yes, sir. Trouba versus Ovechkin. Let's go. Fight, fight, fight. Shout out to Urban. That would be very, very interesting indeed. So that's my other potential trade, right? Obviously, the Capitals now have the draft capital to make that trade, right? You give up the 2 first-round picks, one of your better forward prospects, and your best defensive prospect. I think it's definitely something that is attainable. The Coyotes will probably get a better offer out there, but this is the best that I think the Capitals can do without taking off of their current roster. So a 5-on-3 for the Rangers for 40 seconds. This is now officially a huge, huge penalty. Let's see what happens here. Trouba versus Ovechkin fight. You guys are hysterical. The hockey world would love to see that, but I do not think that's going to happen. I just don't. And PJ says, why doesn't Buffalo or Edmonton trade for Chychrun? And the Rangers hit the post, I think. No good, but the Rangers hit the post. So the problem with Edmonton, and here is the report, apparently if Chychrun goes to the Oilers have to give up Philip Broberg, which apparently they are not willing to do. They are not willing to trade Philip Broberg. So that is the reasoning why Edmonton isn't involved. Buffalo, I think, is more of the effect of they don't want to give up the first-round picks yet. I think they're still a little bit not insecure, but not ready to give up a first-round pick this year and a first-round pick next year. Great save by Darcy Kemper. Wow. Tarasenko got snubbed. But a really good start to this game. So that's the reasoning why I think that the Oilers aren't involved. And Buffalo, like I said, they don't have the draft capital. I think they'd be willing to give up this year's first-round pick. They don't have a second first-round pick in this year's draft. And I think, unfortunately, for the Sabres, I don't think they're willing to trade their next year's first-round pick. And they're not in a position to do that yet, right? So I think that's kind of why the Sabres and the Oilers aren't more involved. What else are you guys saying? Morgan says, why doesn't Buffalo trade for a good goalie? Like, come on, man. Y'all got to get a better goalie. So UPL is expected to be their guy moving forward. I think Kirill Vejmelka from Arizona would be a great fit for the Buffalo Sabres. But again, that's probably going to mean a first-round pick or a prospect. And I think that Kevin Adams is very reluctant to trade any of those guys like JJ Paterka. I'm trying to remember the other guys. Some of their younger prospects. I don't think they want to trade them yet. I think he wants to evaluate them a little bit more. Maybe in the summer, the Sabres make that move just so they have somebody kind of as a stopgap or a bridge goalie before UPL becomes the starter and we get to see somebody else jump in there. So we'll see what happens with that. And a great start to this game between the Capitals and the Rangers. We have 2 goals, a fight, official review for a 4-minute penalty, a cup shot in the jewels. This has been a great start to this hockey game. And maybe because they knew Goal Line Hockey Live was recapping this game, that's probably why they're playing with a little bit more energy tonight in D.C. And make sure, guys, welcome to the chat. Some of you guys joining in here, make sure to like the video. It definitely helps us out here at Goal Line Hockey. And Craig Smith. Imagine Craig Smith scores a goal. That would be great. His first game in Washington, got traded out of that's the part of the thing. Like, that Bruins trade was really good the other day. But Craig Smith was on a really good team, and now he goes to the Capitals, who are seemingly selling, right? That's kind of a tough mental thing. He spent all season with the Bruins, giving his all for the Bruins, and then he gets dealt to a seller. That's kind of a tough thing there. So shout out to Craig Smith. Oh, man, the Rangers with a really good chance. Yeah, the Rangers have dominated since the Capitals scored that goal. It's been all Rangers since that goal. And now they've scored a goal. They've gotten into a fight. A lot of things have been starting to go the Rangers' way, but we only have 9 shots so far this game, and we already got 2 goals. Like I said, I think this is going to be kind of a high scoring game. Like I said, 4-3 Rangers in overtime, and I expect Filipino to get the OT winner. Shaka says Buffalo has so many goalie prospects, they will be fine. Yes, and they also have, I forgot his name. Is it Eric Portio or Eric Portillo? I don't know how to pronounce it, but apparently he won't sign with the Sabres, and I think the Sabres actually might look to trade him because they know he's not going to sign, and he's currently playing at the University of Michigan. You guys can let me know. Yeah, Portio. They also have Devin Levi. Yes. Is Portio also a Sabres prospect, Shaka? I'm pretty sure he is, right? Yes, they also have Devin Levi from the Panthers trade. Um, no way. Oh my God. What a save by Igor Shesterkin. He just robbed the Capitals. Oh my God. The Capitals had such a good chance. Wow. Yeah, Trevor Van Riemsdyk is like, I should have had that one. Yes, he is. Okay. Yeah. So I'm right. So yeah, they have Devin Levi, this guy, Eric Portio, and they also have Uko Pekka Lukonen, who is currently on the roster for the Sabres right now. So, yeah, they don't need more goalie prospects, but again, it's kind of that hard thing where it's patience, right? Everybody has a hard time with patience. The Sabres are kind of a bubble team that could make the playoffs this year. I have criticized Kevin Adams. I haven't liked some of the messaging he's given at his press conferences last year and this and that. But listen, the way he handled the Eichel trade, the way he's kind of built this thing, maybe it's a little bit lucky, and that's obviously a huge part of any GM, right? You need a little bit of luck, but he has done a very good job for the Buffalo Sabres so far. So my also kind of as we get into the Rangers side of things, talking about the Capitals as we finish up, I think another guy that they could target at the deadline is Joel Edmondson from the Montreal Canadiens. He has 2 years left on his contract, so he'll be an RFA or a UFA. I don't remember. His contract ends in 2024, next year. So the Capitals get the remainder of this season, whether they make the playoffs or not, and next year. So they have a little bit of term with Joel Edmondson, potentially a good second pairing defenseman. He's a decent puck mover, right? He's a little bit physical, which fits the Capitals. And he won't cost them the first round picks and a ton of prospects. I think they could get Joel Edmondson. Oh my God, Shesterkin. What a freaking save. They could get Joel Edmondson for a second and a fourth. Thank you, Urban. Yes, he's a UFA next year. So they could get Joel Edmondson for a second and a fourth round pick. It doesn't break the bank, right? You're not trading multiple first round picks and prospects, which the Capitals don't really have. And I think that's kind of what you're looking at. I think that's a really good move. It's a more conservative move, but I think it's a move that makes sense for where the Capitals are at. Like we met, Trevor Van Riemsdyk getting that close opportunity. He's a UFA this summer. David Gustafson, also a UFA this summer. So they've already signed Sonny Milano. They've signed Dylan Strome. They traded Dmitry Orlov. Now they're just going down the pecking order of who's next. And I think they're going to take a look at those guys to see whether they want to stay with the Capitals, if they want to sign an extension. If we get to trade deadline day and Gustafson and Trevor Van Riemsdyk have not signed extensions, expect them to get traded next Friday, March 3rd. And of course, a quick plug, March 3rd at 10 a.m. Eastern, we will be doing a pretty long goal line hockey live stream. Of course, NHL Trade Deadline Edition. The trade tracker, stay tuned for that next Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern. If you guys are going to be maybe a little under the weather next Friday, can't make it to work or school, you guys know where to be here at Goal Line Hockey Live. So that's my thoughts on the Capitals. Maybe they bring in a defenseman here that has some term. They might even be trading some defensemen here that are UFAs. So we'll stay tuned here on that. We'll see what happens, but a great game so far. A couple of things we're going to talk about for the Rangers. And really the main one is Patrick Kane. I think Patrick Kane to the Rangers is the big buzz term that everybody's kind of looking at. And I could see a potential deal coming pretty quickly here. Patrick Kane to Manhattan is the headline. So the Chicago Blackhawks get a first round pick, Vitaly Kravtsov and Barclay Goodrow in exchange for Patrick Kane at 50% salary retention and Alex Vlasic. And the Capitals are on the power play. Let me know what you guys think of that. I don't actually think that's going to be what the deal becomes. It sounds like there could be a third team involved. Like I said, it could be Montreal, Vancouver, Arizona, or maybe the Minnesota Wild because they've been doing that a lot recently. So maybe the Wild do end up getting Patrick Kane for 5 minutes. So we'll see what happens with that. I also like Alex Vlasic, especially if they lose a guy like Ryan Lindgren next summer in 2024. Vlasic is a young defenseman. He's got a little bit of NHL experience under him. I think that could be just another nice piece to add to this trade. So it makes the idea of trading your first round pick, the stomaching that a little bit, it makes it a little bit easier for the Rangers. And so far, Jeff Gorton, every trade he's kind of banked every single trade. He's done very well with the Tarasenko and Mikkola deal. I think the biggest mistake, and I think that was part of his era, was the Barclay Goodrow signing. I think he paid him too much money. He's playing great in this game today, but for the most part, I think Barclay Goodrow has. This is what we expected from Barclay Goodrow. We just don't see it enough, right? We wish it was a little bit more common to see him playing the way he is today, but obviously he's getting paid a little bit too much. And that's what happens on free agency signing day, right? That's kind of what happens. So the Rangers are killing a penalty. There's 30 seconds left on the Capitals power play. They already scored a power play goal. Yeah, Kuznetsov just looks a little bit off. If I'm going to be honest, Kuzi does not look great. I don't know if he's not healthy or just mentally. The cup check earlier, he's kind of on the power play losing the puck and just losing his handle on it. Just some weird stuff going on with Kuzi. I don't know what's going on there. You guys maybe could let me know. I don't think he's been injured. I don't think it's that. Urban says the East has 6 teams fighting for 2 wildcard spots. The West has 9 teams for 8 playoff spots. That's a great quote there from Urban. Morgan says, I don't think the Caps make the playoffs. I think the Islanders and Buffalo make the wild card. I agree with you, Morgan. I agree with you. I think the Red Wings are close, but I think that their goaltending will ultimately be the falter of the Red Wings. Ville Husso has never played this much in his career, and I think Ville Husso, I hate to put it all on him, but I think that the lack of a stable goaltender could end up really hurting the Red Wings at the end of the day. And you can make the same argument, I guess, for the Sabres too, but they've just been playing better, right? Like since that Tampa Bay Lightning game, they beat Florida and Tampa Bay this weekend. Like that is legit by the Buffalo Sabres. That is not something we would have said for the past 3 or 4 years for the Sabres. They're winning games that normally at this time of year should be getting blown out in. So, since that Tampa game, the Toronto game, shout out to the Buffalo Sabres. So we are in the final minute here of the first period. 1-1 between the Capitals and the Rangers. A couple power plays, a couple stick shots to the jewels. We got it all. A fight. Urban says too much or not enough. Interesting. Oh my God. So Shaka, shout out to Shaka. He says, how'd the Taco Bell feel afterwards last night? I used to have an iron stomach because I would have Taco Bell 2 or 3 days a week. Nowadays, I've been eating it a little bit less. Taco Bell did a number on me, not last night, but this morning. Shout out to Taco Bell. I need a sponsorship with Taco Bell at some point because I eat it often enough still. Maybe not 2 or 3 days a week like I used to, but often enough. PJ says, Kev, where's that chicken parm? Still not here. No chicken parm yet, PJ. We are working on that. But no chicken parm. Yeah, I'm not too happy about it. And guys, if you have not already, make sure to like the stream. It definitely helps us out. We have a very entertaining game so far between the Capitals and Rangers. 1-1 after one. Great hockey game so far in the nation's capital. And we're going to jump real quick to the Blue Jackets and Oilers. My prediction for this was 6-4 Edmonton, and it's already 4-1 Columbus. And the Oilers just scored. So if my prediction stands, that means we're going to see 5 straight goals from the Oilers. Wow. So right when I look, the Oilers, it is a 4-1 game. Yeah, I think the Oilers fans are a little nervous. A 4-0 lead at one point for the Blue Jackets. Oh, that's one Korpisalo should have had. And shout out to Warren Fogle getting the goal. Morgan says, "Hey, Kev, if my school is on Zoom because of the snow, I will be in the chat and doing schoolwork." That's great, Morgan. We'd love to have you on board. And what has happened to the Edmonton Oilers? Is Jack Campbell still in net? I really like this. Is not the Oilers need a goaltender, and he's across the rink from them. Jonas Korpisalo. They need to get Korpisalo. The Oilers, Golden Knights, Sabres, all those teams should be in on Jonas Korpisalo. And even though he just let in a weak goal, kind of one that shouldn't have gone by, Jonas Korpisalo to the Oilers is another fit there. Shaka says James Reimer to the Oilers. Yeah, James Reimer has played really well. He had a shutout last week against the Kraken, and I think Shaka went to that game. Urban says Oilers, no defense, same problem. And that's true. And like I said, I don't know if you guys saw that. I had a mock trade of Matthias Ekholm to the Oilers. I think they should be going after a guy like Ekholm over a guy like Carlson. I think there's just too many gymnastics and hoops you have to get through to get Carlson to Edmonton. I just don't think it's worth it. As good of a player as Carlson has been this year, there's a ton of instability long term. What if he re-aggravates that injury? He has been playing at a level this year I just don't think is sustainable. So I think whatever price that, I get why San Jose wants the price that they want for him, but I just think it is going to be way too expensive. And the salary cap, it is an unmovable deal, in my opinion. Urban says, "Does anyone know why Spencer Knight is in the league special program, drugs or mental health?" Yeah, so Urban, I talked about that a little bit last night. I think, again, I can't really speculate because I don't actually know. Yeah, I don't know. I know a lot of people have been asking that, but I think a lot of it is more he wants the privacy. I think he's 20 years old. He's PJ's age, right? So he's definitely young. And I just think, again, it's one of those things where maybe it's just better off that is private. I think we all would like to know what's going on with Spencer Knight, right? But at the end of the day, I think it will come with time. At some point when he has his renaissance, we'll find out what happened here with Spencer Knight. But as of right now, I just wish for a speedy recovery. But at this point, there isn't much information on Spencer Knight. All right, so speaking of the Blue Jackets, because the Blue Jackets are playing so well right now, I have an interesting trade proposal. I want to hear what you guys think of this one. The Nashville Predators and the Columbus Blue Jackets once again doing a 1-for-1, a defenseman for a forward. And speaking of the NHL's Players Assistance Program, this is another player that's involved going the other way. A Dante Fabro, Alexander Texier swap. What do you guys think of that? Alex Texier goes to the Nashville Predators. He hasn't played this whole season, not even getting paid by the Blue Jackets. He's in the NHL Players Assistance Program. He played really well at the end of last season with the Columbus Blue Jackets, potentially a top 6 center. He would be a great fit in Nashville long term as they're kind of trying to rebuild things. I think that would be a great pickup for them. In terms of Dante Fabro going to Columbus, I think that the Oilers here, the Blue Jackets, listen, they really want Jacob Chikrin, but if there's another defenseman they could add as some good depth behind Zach Werenski, I think Dante Fabro is a good reclamation project for the Columbus Blue Jackets. I think Brad Larson could go in there, kind of maybe fix up some of his systematics in his game and get Dante Fabro back on track. The other nice thing about this deal is, for Columbus, they're trading Texier out of the conference, so there's not a huge concern on him kind of coming back to bite you in the playoffs. And for Dante Fabro, it's the same thing for Nashville. And Urban says, write that down. Colorado and Mini are going to finish 1-2 in the West. And Morgan, you are 100% accurate. So Colorado and Mini are going to finish 1-2 in the West. I think that's an interesting point. Again, I think whoever makes that first move in the Western Conference is going to be seismic, right? Because, again, nobody has done anything in the Western Conference. It's all been guys leaving, right? Horvat goes to the East Coast. Tarasenko and O'Reilly go to the East Coast. Everybody's been going west to the east. And I think the first time that we see a Western Conference team finally put their foot down and make that big acquisition, it's going to help them in a deal. And it's going to, again, maybe put them ahead of everybody else in the arms race. Urban says, I can smell it. Smell-o-vision from Urban right now. Oh, Jonas Korpisalo. What a save. Jeez. He just robbed Leon Draisaitl. A 5-on-3. We're seeing a lot of 5-on-3 power plays here in the matinee games this morning. There was a 5-on-3 power play for the Rangers, and now the Oilers on a 5-on-3 power play. So what do you guys think of a 1-for-1 swap? Two guys that are kind of reclamation projects. The Nashville Predators picking up Alexander Texier, maybe potential top 6 center at some point, and Dante Fabro, a potential top 4 defenseman in the NHL, going to the Columbus Blue Jackets. Let me know your guys' thoughts on that. So I wish Ali Desch was in the chat for this one, but I have an interesting trade for the Ottawa Senators. I talked about it a little bit last night, but I think the Ottawa Senators are kind of brewing something up here. The Ottawa Senators are a team that could make that trade next in the Eastern Conference. And there it is. So a 5-on-3 power play goal for the Oilers. PJ. And it's 4-2. So a 4-0 lead for the Blue Jackets within a few minutes, cut in half. Wow, this could end up being an interesting game in CBJ. Wow. So a big goal. There was 9 seconds left, so the Oilers still have a power play. This is going to be an interesting finish. So the Ottawa Senators for Colton Parayko. Let me know what you guys think of that. So the Ottawa Senators pick up Colton Parayko. In exchange, the St. Louis Blues get the Ottawa Senators' first-round pick this year. Of course, that's lottery protected, and Erik Brannstrom. Now, there is a level of concern to picking up Parayko and trading your first-round pick. So this is definitely an aggressive move by Pierre Dorion if he were to make that move. Again, there's the lottery side of things, and we know the Senators have struggled with those first-round picks. They basically gave Bowen Byram to the Colorado Avalanche in the Matt Duchene trade. And you've also got the idea of Colton Parayko, who is on an 8-year deal making $6.5 million per year. That could come back to bite the Senators. He hasn't really progressed from where he did that first season, and maybe some of that real hype around him has died off. So Colton Parayko, still a very good, serviceable defenseman, but there is some reason to believe that maybe he is a bit overpaid. So if the Blues are looking to trade him, it might be because they want to get themselves out of that contract while they can. But again, if they could pick up a first-round pick and a guy like Erik Brannstrom who could kind of fill out his spot, Brannstrom has really struggled this year for the Ottawa Senators, and I think a lot of Senators fans are okay with trading Brannstrom. So let me know what you guys think of that. Oh, you scared me. I thought they actually did it. No, the Senators did not make that trade, but it is something that I think is on the radar. And I think the Senators are going to make a trade here because the way they move that cap space for Zaitsev, it has me there's a little suspicion that I think Peter Dorian's going to make a move here. And not really for this season. I think they're kind of out of the playoffs at this point. But I do think there is still something here. If the Senators do indeed want to make a move, maybe to make the playoffs next year, pick up a defenseman with some term, you could end up getting a guy like Colton Parayko. So let me know what you guys think of those down below. And those are some of my newer mock trades. I got a couple of other interesting ones, but maybe we'll talk about those a little bit later. And guys, thank you so much for joining us here. We have just hit the 1 hour mark. And how is the stream, guys? Leave a 1 in the chat for those of you guys in here. Leave a 1 in the chat if the stream is good. Is it, is it doing well? Is it choppy? Is it laggy? How's the audio? Let me know down below. I'm also going to give a quick plug to goal_hockey. That is our Twitter. If you guys want the latest on our live streams, make sure to follow us on Twitter at goal_hockey and goalline_hockey on Instagram. At some point, I'm going to do that. It's more of a reclamation project, that Instagram account, but we will see what happens. Thank you, Urban, for the 1 in the chat. So I guess we're doing good for the most part. So the main game tonight, or this afternoon, we've got the New York Rangers and the Washington Capitals. It's an intermission right now, so we're watching the Oilers versus Blue Jackets. But in pretty interesting games so far between the Capitals and the Rangers, 1-1 after 20 minutes, a 5-on-3 power play for the Rangers, a fight, a controversial 4-minute misconduct penalty that wasn't called, 2 goals. I mean, that's matinee hockey at its finest right there in the Metropolitan Division. A great matchup and definitely a good pick for me so far in terms of a game to cover. Igor Shesterkin with a really, really, really nice save. So we'll see what happens there. And we were actually watching a pretty interesting game right now in Columbus. It was a 4-0 lead for the Blue Jackets at one point. The Oilers have now cut it to a 4-2 lead. So things are a little bit spicy in Columbus right now. This seems like a pretty good game right now. And guys, welcome to the chat. Thank you so much for joining us and taking some time out of your weekend here at the end of February to watch Goal Line Live. Guys, thank you so much. Make sure to like the video if you have not already. And let me know what you guys are thinking about down in the chat. I appreciate your guys' support as always. So now the Blue Jackets are on the power play. Kind of an interesting game here. Already 6 goals, and we have reached the halfway point of this game. Like I said, I did expect it to be a high-scoring game. I said 6-4 Edmonton. That still holds if whoever's in between the pipes for the Oilers can hold it down. But a very high-scoring game so far in Columbus. No way. And Connor McDavid shorthanded and a 4-0 lead for the Columbus Blue Jackets. 3 straight unanswered goals by the Oilers, including now a shorthanded goal, and it is 4-3 Blue Jackets. Oh my God. Wow. Connor McDavid doing it all himself, shorthanded. What a goal by McDavid, though. He just undressed potentially his next teammate in Jonas Korpisalo. Oh my God. That is vintage Connor McDavid right there. Just making it look so freaking easy. Wow. I wonder if Columbus is going to do something here. Try and stir it up or something just to change the momentum. They have lost all the momentum. All the momentum. Oh my God. Wow. What a freaking hockey game. PJ says, I hope they score. They did not. If you were hoping that the Oilers scored, well, You would be sadly mistaken. It is the Oilers, not the Blue Jackets. PJ says, I can't wait for the Oilers to get swept by the Avs. Listen, I think that's something that is on the table. That could definitely happen. Urban says, making nachos. Yo, I love me some nachos. Now, here's the big question, Urban. What's on the nachos? Guys, what is your favorite nacho toppings? Let me know down below. And this might end up being a shorter stream, guys. I'll probably do just the rest of the Capitals Rangers game, and we might do a stream later. I will let you guys know depending on how this stream goes and how we're feeling. We'll see what happens, but as of right now, this is probably going to go till 3:30, so we'll probably go another hour, hour and a half. And now the Blue Jackets take a penalty. There has to be a huge level of concern right now for the Columbus Blue Jackets. I don't know why they haven't called the timeout. Urban says BB and 15, be a run. All right, we'll see you in a couple minutes, Urban. So Edmonton has 11 shorthanded goals on the season. Wow. Urban says because they're tanking. I guess so. You want Connor Bedard, but man, for the fan base, though, a 4-0 lead in a matinee game, and then you lose? I don't know. That's not a really good look there, but I guess you're right. I don't get who has the power play. Is it Columbus or Edmonton? They just showed a Blue Jacket in the box, but an Oiler just came out. I don't know what. There must have been a fight earlier that I missed. And if that's the case, that's even more devastating. Oh my God, a 3-on-2. No way. No way. Oh man. Columbus is really about to blow this. Holy shit. Oh my God. Yeah, this just looks like a full-on attack from the Oilers. Korpisalo's just looking around, doesn't know what the hell is going on. This is a crazy game right now in Columbus. While we wait in the intermission of the Rangers Capitals game, they are definitely entertaining us in Columbus, Ohio right now. And McDavid, oh my God. If I'm a Blue Jackets fan right now, this is terrifying. And Connor McDavid just tied the game. 2 goals. They were down 4-0 10 minutes ago. And just like that, the Oilers have tied the game at 4. Wow. What a hockey game. And PJ has to be punching the air right now as a Calgary Flames fan. But the Edmonton Oilers, out of nowhere, have tied this hockey game. What a shot by McDavid, but oh my God. Wow. Oh my God. Columbus is terrible. The Columbus Blue Jackets are terrible, ladies and gentlemen. In 10 minutes, they have blown a 4-0 lead at home. Wow. Let me know your guys' thoughts on the Oilers and Blue Jackets right now, as this game isn't. So, yeah, Morgan, you missed a lot. What's going on? Welcome back, Morgan. So, it was a 4-0 lead for the Columbus Blue Jackets at home in front of their home fans. And the Oilers, in 10 minutes, a shorthanded goal by Connor McDavid, a regular goal by Connor McDavid, and 2 others. It is a 4-4 hockey game. And within 10 minutes, a 4-0 lead for the Blue Jackets is a tied hockey game. Wow. And if you guys are watching the Capitals Rangers game, let me know in the chat when that game goes back on because I'll flip back to that. But this game right now in Eastern Ohio has been just nothing short of just jaw-dropping. The Oilers really making a statement right now on the road. A huge game the other night against the Penguins, a 7-2 win. Now they're taking care of business against Columbus in just shocking fashion. Wow. Yeah, McDavid's getting a hat trick in this game. And the way McDavid is buzzing around the ice, He looks like 10 times faster than anybody else right now. Wow. And guys, let me know down in the comment section down below. Leave some mock trades because I want to talk about some mock trades today. And anything on the Capitals and the Rangers wise, let me know what you guys are thinking in the comment section down below. And I will be right back. All right. What's going on, guys? So just a crazy, crazy hockey game between the Oilers and the Blue Jackets. Wow. Absolutely incredible. So I'm going to go over some more mock trades because I think that's what you guys want to see. So we are back in action in Washington, 1-1, a really entertaining first period. And we have Hedel and Trevor Van Riemsdyk going at it a little bit. Oh, man, this is a feisty game. This is classic Rangers Capitals. I am all for it. Morgan says, "Hey Kev, I got NHL center ice and I can watch any game any day." Okay. That's a good package. It's a little bit expensive, but well worth it. If you watch the games, NHL center ice definitely worth it. And we've got a heck of a hockey game, two really good hockey games so far, for different reasons. In the Eastern Conference, the Blue Jackets blowing a 4-0 lead. The Rangers and Capitals having a couple of good fights and some chippiness and sandpaper in their game. Just a great start to the weekend here for hockey. All right, so another kind of interesting mock trade I had here. It's a lot of assets involved for the Penguins, but I have the Penguins going for Thatcher Demko. What do you guys think of Thatcher Demko going to the Penguins? So Pittsburgh gets Thatcher Demko and Luke Shen, so they get a goalie and a rental defenseman. In exchange, the Canucks get Philip Hallander, Samuel Poulin, Jeff Petrie, and his contract, and a first-round pick from the Penguins this year. It's obviously not ideal for the Penguins, but I think the Penguins have to make a statement here. They have a window with McDavid, Crosby, Letang. They don't need the draft picks. They really don't. They need to win. They need to make the playoffs. And I guess the argument could be, well, they can't just get one asset, right? And the good thing about this trade, even if they don't keep Luke Shen long term, shout out to Darcy Kemper. He just made like 3 saves in 2 seconds. Wow. Rangers are buzzing though. Yeah, the fans in Washington, standing ovation for Kemper because he just bailed them out. Shot by Schneider, shot by Kako, shot by Lafreniere. Man, they were buzzing him. Oh. And Morgan says, I can watch every Knights game no matter where they play. So that's a plus. Yes, I would say that is a plus, Morgan. Yes. And what service are the Vegas Golden Knights on? I don't remember. Is it I forgot where they are. What channel are the Golden Knights on? Like is it ABC? I think it's NB. Is it NBC? No. And the Capitals score. TJ Oshie with his second of the afternoon, and point blank in between the circles, TJ Oshie gives the Capitals a 2-1 lead at home over the New York Rangers. Wow. Very nice goal there by Oshie. And the Capitals, they're showing some fight here. They're not giving up. Dylan Strome with the pass. That's a great shot. Shesterkin wants that one back, though. Shesterkin, ATTSN. Yes, that's what it is. Thank you. Thank you, Morgan. So TJ Oshie with a pair of goals in this matinee game against the Rangers. And we've got a very good hockey game. We got some goals, some fighting. It's not just goals like the Oilers Blue Jackets game, but nonetheless, a very entertaining game. Like I said, my prediction is 4-3 Rangers in overtime. So the Capitals are still due for at least one more goal today. And Morgan says, I'm waiting till primetime nights for stars. Yeah, so I probably will be doing a stream later, Morgan. Like I said, this might be a shorter stream. We might go for another like 45 minutes. I'll probably go to 2 hours and call it a day. Why are they playing West Virginia by John Denver? So that's a Capitals. The Capitals do that a lot. West Virginia, it's the Capitals play in DC, Washington, DC. That is in Virginia. So I guess that's the reasoning. I mean, it's kind of dumb, but that I believe is the reasoning why they're playing John Denver. Good observation though, Morgan. That is why. Um so another interesting trade I had for the Penguins was I thought the Rangers scored. Another interesting one I have is Chikrin in a blockbuster to the Penguins. So Pittsburgh gets Jacob Chikrin, Kirill Vejmelka, and Nick Bjugstad. Now, the idea of this trade is the Penguins need to go all in, right? You can't just kind of tiptoe. They have to go full deep dive if they want to make the playoffs this year. They're not one piece away. So this is the perfect trade. You get Chikrin, who has some term as a defenseman, so you're not giving up guys for rentals, right? Kirill Vejmelka, multiple years left. He's a goaltender. And Nick Bjugstad is the only rental here, but he's the least expensive. Now, Nick Bjugstad already has like 20, 25 points this year for the Arizona Coyotes. I think that would be a great pickup for them, honestly. And I think what you're looking at with Bjugstad, he might actually be the best asset in terms of a playoff run this year. But like I said, Chikrin and Vejmelka, it's worth giving up the assets because they're not rentals. Arizona would get the next 2 years of first-round picks for Pittsburgh, Samuel Poulin, Philip Hallander, and Jeff Petrie. So it's an expensive price for the Penguins, right? But what makes it worth it, instead of giving up just a first-round pick for a rental at the deadline, the Penguins get that stability. So yes, it costs them this year and next year's first-round picks, which is not ideal. But let's be honest, if they have Chikrin, Vejmelka, and Bjugstad for a playoff run this year, with Crosby, with Malkin, with Letang, that might be just the energy that this team needs to go on a playoff run. Now, if I'm going to be honest with you, Ron Hextall doesn't make moves. I don't think Ron Hextall is going to make this move, but if I was Ron Hextall in his shoes, I would try to make a trade similar to this. So a quick update, a 2-1 lead for the Washington Capitals over the New York Rangers. A great hockey game so far in DC. 2 goals from TJ Oshie, the big storyline so far this afternoon. Barclay Goodrow had a really good first period, but I haven't heard much of him since, so I don't know what's going on there. Ryan Lindgren left the game earlier with an injury. We don't know the latest on Lindgren if he is back in the lineup for the second period, but he did leave the game in the first with an apparent upper body injury. It might just be something as simple as just maybe just spraining his wrist or something, or something more serious. So we'll see what happens. I'll look for him on the ice. But as of this point, I have not seen Ryan Lindgren back on the ice. And that's why you pick up guys at the deadline like Nico Mikkola. Hey, what's going on? Man DeLorean 9. He says Devils trade rumors. So the Devils, I've heard them linked to 2 players. The obvious one that you probably already know is Timo Meier. Timo Meier's been on the Devils' radar for a very long time. The other guy that's recently been on the Devils' radar as maybe a secondary move here is Nino Niederreiter. Now, if you know anything about the local New York area teams, Nino Niederreiter was formerly an Islanders draft pick, and he's currently playing in Nashville. It sounds like the Devils are looking to maybe add that big player like a Timo Meier, but they're also looking at adding a guy that's maybe going to cost just a second or third round pick, and they could probably get Nino Niederreiter for a third round pick at the deadline. Add some more scoring depth to the bottom six, along with a Timo Meier trade. Now, you also mentioned Brock Besser here. I think that's feasible, but I think that the Minnesota Wild and the Canucks are trying to make Besser work to Minnesota. I believe he's from Duluth. So there is reason to believe that Besser ends up going to Minnesota. But if he doesn't, the Devils should absolutely be a player for Brock Besser. I like your pick there. But I'm going to go with Timo Meier and Nino Niederreiter that have indeed been linked to the New Jersey Devils. So that's your latest on the Devils there. What's going on, Mandalorian? Welcome to the chat. Urban, he's back. He says, I think Besser and maybe Chikrin to Mini. Morgan says Duluth trading. No, Duluth, Minnesota. That's very funny though, Morgan. Yes, there is Duluth trading, but that's where they get the name from, Minnesota Duluth, which also is a hockey school. Daniel, your boy, welcome to the chat. Daniel, your boy, welcome back. He says, hey, Kevin, been watching Oilers come back from 4-0. How's this game? Is it chippy? I haven't seen a ton of chippiness, but I think there is something going on here. As this game, I'm currently watching the Rangers game and Trouba throw his helmet from back in December, but man, the Rangers have played so much better since December 4th. It is incredible the difference for the Rangers. And they just showed that stat on TNT. How's the game? So I think the Blue Jackets and Oilers are a perfect trade match. Vladislav Gavrikov to the Oilers is a great fit, and Jonas Korpisalo to the Oilers is also a great fit. So if Columbus is dead set on getting a first-round pick for Jonas Korpisalo, and, again, it might involve both of them going together in a package. That's the reality. A lot of teams have been doing that, like trading two guys together to get a bigger package. Right? We saw the Rangers do that with the Blues, with Mikkola and Tarasenko. It's not really anything new. Multiplayer trades are in vogue right now in the National Hockey League, and I expect to see more of them ahead of the deadline. Urban says Brodin on LTIR may turn into season opening for cap room. That is definitely an interesting point. I could see the Wild making a move. I just think everything that Bill Guerin has done so far has been we're picking up draft picks and not acquiring anything, right? Like in terms of like a player to the roster. So until that message changes in terms of what the trades he's making, right now, I'm not being a big player. Like I said, I think they're waiting to see what happens with Brock Besser. Mandalorian wants to see maybe the Devils go after Brock Besser. But like I said, I think their priority is Timo Meier. Morgan says, hey, Kev, you want to know something cool that my hockey league lets us do? We're allowed to wear earbuds. I wear my AirPods and just blast my Spotify playlist. That's kind of interesting. While you're playing a game, what if you get hit? Doesn't the AirPod just like get stuck in your ear? Let me know how that works there, Morgan. That could be kind of that could turn out very badly if you got hit in the wrong spot. So let's take a look at the Oilers Blue Jackets. It was 4-4 last time I checked. So it is 4-4 second intermission. And Blue Jackets fans probably have their tail in between their legs because this game has been everything you could expect. Jeez. Wow. And the Oilers playing quite well on this East Coast road trip, right? Twice now. They were down in the Penguins game, came back, won that one 7-2. Now making a statement again here this weekend, down 4-0, and then coming back to tie the game at 4 before the end of the second period. Yeah, what are your guys' thoughts on the Pittsburgh Penguins? Because I think the Penguins, they should make a big move. I really do. I think that is what they need to do. I don't think Hextall will, but I think they should because, again, how many more years are you going to have Malkin, Crosby, and Letang at this point, right? Like, if the Penguins were going to start rebuilding slash retooling this thing, then last year they shouldn't have re-signed Malkin and Letang. So they're sending two different messages with the way they've been kind of running things. It hasn't been consistent. And that's even more concerning if you're a Penguins fan, is the lack of a consistent message. And the direction, depending on the day, depending on how the wind blows, the Penguins are either, they're very wishy-washy. They're either, trying to win a Stanley Cup, continue that championship pedigree, keeping them, but also not buying when they need to at the deadline. And Mike Sullivan has been very open about that, wanting to see them go after a guy like Chychrun. And Hextall has said, yeah, nah. And what did Ron Hextall in Philly was the lack of moves. He was not willing to make moves that needed to be made. He ultimately lost his job. And I wonder if that could be on the table here in the Steel City just down the road. What else are you guys saying? Mandalorian says, my guess for the Meyer trade is Holtz, a first round in 2023, and Seamus Casey for Meyer. Possibly one more player going to the Sharks, given Meyer signs new deal with the Devils. That's actually a great mock there, Mandalorian. I like that. Overall, oh man, I missed it. So Tom Wilson and the Capitals with a 3-1 lead over the New York Rangers. Wow. So here we go. We have a game. Let's see how the Rangers respond here the rest of this second period, because the Capitals now with a 2-goal lead. Thank you guys for letting me know, because I completely missed it. I'm kind of annoyed now. What else you guys got? Urban says, CBJ fans gotta be so pissed. Last place, and you got Johnny Hockey, and then this. Yeah, a 4-0 lead blown before the end of the second period. Definitely not ideal. And a 2-on-1 for the Capitals. Man, the Capitals almost made it 4. The Rangers look a little out of place, if I have to be honest. The Rangers do not look great right now. Like I said, honestly, I think this game, in terms of magnitude, in terms of how the rest of this season could go, this could be a real momentum shift for the Capitals this game, and they're playing like it. They're playing like a team that's still trying to fight for a playoff spot despite selling at the deadline and trading Orlov away. They are still playing hard. And it could have been so easy for them to just we're selling, we'll just kind of hang up the skates. They have not done that today. And maybe the Rangers were expecting them to come out slow. That has not been the case. Like, the Capitals look good. And like I said, the Rangers kind of look flat. Daniel, your boy says they've been struggling since the game in Calgary. Yeah, even that game in Calgary, they lost. They lost to Detroit the other day. Now they're losing to the Capitals. I don't know what's going on with the Rangers here the past couple of days. And again, I think a lot of it is the Patrick Kane trade in the background hasn't really helped the Rangers. I think it is a little bit of a distraction. 2-on-1 for the Capitals. Kuznetsov and Ovechkin. Kuznetsov. Oh my God. Oh, Shesterkin with what a save. Wow. Yeah, the Capitals are buzzing. What is going on with the Rangers, man? Urban says, looks like the Rangers when Trouba threw his helmet. Yo, you're right. Morgan said the Rangers don't look good. It's just something going on with the whole organization. Like I said, I think a lot of it is the Patrick Kane drama behind the scenes. I think the Rangers are a little bit off their game. They're thinking about Patrick Kane coming in, who's going out, who's coming in. Yeah, Daniel, your boy, you're right. They look distracted. That's what I think it is. Something weird starting there as well. I mean, the Devils just lost to the Canadiens. Yeah, I think the Devils are a victim of it too. And what's frustrating, and Shaka, I don't know if he's still in the chat, but this weekend is Patrick Marleau weekend in San Jose. So I do not expect any Timo Meyer trade news until at the very least Monday or Tuesday. Things might quiet down on that this weekend. We'll see that pick up next week. And we saw that a couple weeks ago with Chikrin to the Kings. It was Dustin Brown weekend. Everything was very quiet. And then Monday or Tuesday, oh, the Capitals are attacking Filipino. What the hell just happened? What happened? Ovechkin started laying into Hito. Guys, this game is going to get ugly. I think the Rangers are cranky. They haven't played that well. They look distracted, like we've been saying. This is going to be a very interesting finish in Washington, guys. Stay tuned here at Goal Line Hockey and make sure to like the video if you guys have not already. Mandalorian said he heard the Devils had a stomach bug the whole team, so maybe that's the case too. Herman says, I'm ready for Ovi to knock out somebody. Listen, it could be happening here sooner rather than later. Could definitely be happening. So, like I said, I think that in terms of, before all that stuff blew up with Brant Clark for Jacob Chikrin a couple weeks ago, that weekend was Dustin Brown weekend and his jersey retirement in LA. So things were really quiet. And then once they got out of that weekend, then all of a sudden we heard the rumors about the Kings going after Chikrin again. And they were very, very close to getting that deal done. It just didn't materialize. And I expect something here with Timo Meyer too. So Patrick Marleau weekend might put a hold on the Timo Meyer trade, at the very least for the next 2 days. So Timo Meyer lives another day in San Jose. But let me know your guys' thoughts as well. And Shaka says it will. Yes. And thank you for getting the likes up, guys. Oh, man. So TJ Oshie having himself a game. He had a fight. He's got 2 goals. He's got himself a Gordie Howe hat trick. TJ Oshie, man. Trouba laying into Oshie. They're kind of hitting each other, kind of battling. Yo, this is going to be such a good finish to this hockey game. I am so excited. I'm ready for Ovi to knock out somebody. Yeah, I think we all are. Listen, you guys said it earlier. Jacob Trouba and Alexander Ovechkin fight. That would be great. So it looks like Kuznetsov and Filipino go to the box. I guess that's an even draw with the way Hito's been playing this year. TJ Woshi. Shaka says, I was gone, but I assume you saw the tweet of Meyer saying there has been no contract talks with the Sharks. Wow, I did not know that. Thank you, Shaka, for the insight. No, I did not see that. And that's very important because, again, kind of like the Orlov thing, how, it seemed like they weren't really there was no progression in contract negotiations. And the Capitals said, listen, if we can't get something done before the deadline, we have teams offering up first, second, and third round picks for you. We're trading you. I think that's, again, Meyer's a little different because he has another year left on his deal. But yeah, that is some huge news from Shaka. He said, per Shang Pang, I asked Meyer if something changed. Would he be open to re-signing with the Sharks? Yeah, that hasn't made any progress. To be honest, it seems like he's resigning. He's resigned to leaving San Jose. Wow. Okay, so it sounds like Timo Meyer is probably toward the end here, guys. And the good news for the Sharks out of this is they're going to get value for him. Trading him a year away, he's not going to be a rental. Nobody's talking about the qualifying offer. I think that trading him now is the best move for Will Greer. This is his first big move. Wow. Darcy Kemper with a great cross crease save and 4-on-4 hockey in Washington. This has been a really entertaining game. Probably not for my Rangers fans out there, but the Capitals, no way. Oh, Shesterkin bailed them out. So big saves on both sides. Things are definitely opening up. The Rangers are trying to get back in this game. We are going to probably see another goal here before the end of the second period. Who was that? Who just fell? Was that Wilson? Yeah, Wilson kind of laying a cheap shot. Oh, this game is going to be so good. Oh, Shesterkin almost let one in. Oh, man. Shesterkin has looked a little bit shaky today. Now, here's the other thing, too. I think Shesterkin played in the Calgary game. Who played in net for the Rangers in the Calgary game, guys? Let me know if you can. I don't remember. But I know Halak played the other night against Detroit. That was a great save. And maybe Trocheck missed a little bit. Maybe he was trying to go 5-hole. So Halak did play in the so here's the other thing here. Okay, thank you guys for letting me know. So because Halak has played the past 2 games, is that part of the reason that maybe we're seeing some struggles here today with Shesterkin? Because he's had some time off, right? He seems like he's lost a little bit of mojo. Let me know what you guys think of that. Because, like I said, Halak is getting a couple starts here down the stretch. And I get it. They're trying to rest Shesterkin. He's going to start throughout the playoffs. But I don't know. The Rangers have looked a little bit flat with him out of the lineup. And even today, he looks a little shaky. Good chance there for Hedel out of the box. I think Hedel's going to score a goal here, guys. I'm kind of calling it. I think Philip Hedel, before the end of this game, will score. TJ Oshie! He hits post! And the Capitals, Sonny Milano, and it's 4-1 Capitals. Wow, Shesterkin could not save the rebound. Shesterkin has not looked good, guys. And the Capitals with a 3-goal lead. Oshie hit the post. There was a huge scrum in front. And then Sonny Milano, Long Island native. Shout out to Sonny Milano. And the Capitals with a 4-1 lead. Guys, the Rangers should be cranky as hell right now. I mean, there's not really much Shesterkin could have done, but oh man, the Rangers, the bounces are just going the Capitals' way right now. Yeah, but Urban's right. No team defense. That's not on Shesterkin. Yeah, and the post again. He did what he could to cover up the net because he had to hit the post, right? So you can't really blame Shesterkin on that. And the rebound, again, it's like anything, like a rebound, and it's not even a rebound off of Shesterkin. It's not like he could have put it into the corner. It was off the post. And now that it seems like they're reviewing it. But yeah, who was covering Milano? Milano was wide open. Keandre Miller's off to the side. Probably should have been in front, but I don't know who was the other defenseman there. That went off Barclay Goodrow's face into the net. Holy crap. Wow. So Sonny Milano's laughing on the bench. That's hysterical, man. Yeah, it's a good goal, right? The review, it's a good goal. He's giving an explanation, but it's a good goal. That's all the Capitals fans care. They're up 4-1 on the Rangers. Wow. And Barclay Goodrow with a face goal. It went off of Goodrow's face. Oh, no, it went off his chest. Okay, that's a little less fun. What are you guys saying here in the chat? Daniel, your boy said, I can't believe the Flames let him go. Yeah, I'm really happy for Milano. Things weren't going to work with Columbus because of John Tortorella, like everybody else, right? Nobody likes John Tortorella. Morgan also said former Anaheim Ducks player Sonny Milano. Yeah, I really was hoping it would have worked in Anaheim because, again, he is a Long Island guy. So I was really hoping for the best for him. I actually saw him earlier this year in Hershey a couple of days before he got called up to the Capitals, and he scored a goal in that game. Shout out to Sonny Milano. Morgan said, I call him Curls Milano. Yes, he does have very curly hair. Urban said, the Wild last night played some of the best team defense I've ever seen. And then Shaka said, big Rangers comeback incoming. Maybe. Listen, I said 4-3. Rangers win it in overtime. Hedel OT winner. It's going to have to be 5-4 at this point because the Capitals keep scoring goals and the Rangers don't look great. And guys, have you seen Ryan Lindgren back on the ice? Because the last time I checked, Lindgren has not been on the ice. I have not seen him out there. And the fact that I see number 5 out there, which is Ben Harper, or is that Braden Schneider? Okay, I think it is Schneider. Or is it Harper? Yeah, you guys have to let me know. They said he wasn't returning. Thank you, Shaka. Yeah, so that's bad news too for the Rangers. So now, oh man, and we got a penalty. Somebody took a penalty. Who did it? Who goofed up? Kuznetsov. Uh-oh, Kuznetsov's getting talked to. What does that mean? What else you guys saying? Sometimes players need a system to work. Urban, that is so true. And I hate to say it, I think the Islanders have fallen victim to that a little bit. The lack of a system with Barry Trotz, who has such a concrete system. Lane Lambert's opened things up, which is nice, but I think it's too much now because the Islanders seem to have no structure and they almost look like the Ducks. Shout out to the Ducks, just kind of playing pond hockey, and it doesn't seem like there's any sort of structure. So they went from one extreme to seemingly the other very, very quickly. Morgan said, I want to see Ovi hit a Michigan. And Urban said, sometimes time or the right coach too. Look at Fiala. That's a very good point. And to be honest, and this isn't a knock at Minnesota, but other than Kaprizov, again, this was 2 years ago, right? When Fiala was in Minnesota, or really last year. You know, like how good was that team around him, right? Joel Eriksson was still kind of coming up. I think who was playing center, who's still playing center there that shouldn't. I think Freddie Gaudreau, like they haven't had that guy. And I think that, and that's Kaprizov before he signed was like, listen, I want to have good players around me. Make sure that we have a good team here. I don't want to be Matt Barzell playing by myself, right? And now the Islanders have fixed that with Horvat. But I think yes, that's a very good point with Kevin Fiala. That's very good there. Very good insight by Urban. Yeah, he's doing even better this year in LA. Yeah. And I think that was kind of a goof up. And I don't know your thoughts on that with Fiala, but Bill Guerin he signed him to that 1 year deal, prove it deal 2 years ago, and he had to renegotiate. And Fiala ended up having a better season. And now that's 2 straight years of Fiala playing well. He kind of priced himself out of Minnesota last summer. So again, maybe Guerin was taking the conservative approach with it, but I think it came back to bite him, and that's why Fiala is no longer in the Twin Cities. The Rangers almost look a little shell shocked, if I have to be honest. They can't even get the puck into the Capitals' end. Like they just look so like out to lunch. I mean, I would say the second half of the first period, the Rangers definitely played Rangers hockey, but since then, this whole second period, the Capitals, no way. Oh, Shesterkin with a huge save. Oshie's going to get the hat trick, man. Oshie and McDavid are on hat trick watch. They each have 2 goals this game already. He's already got the Gordie Howe hat trick. He's got the fight as well, the 2 goals. Great chance. Hey, Van Riemsdyk's gotten robbed twice by Shesterkin here today. Urban said money. Guerin knew the risk, but he got Faber and a first rounder, which turned into another center from Russia. Yeah, that's a good point. That's true, Urban. He did do good with the assets, right? But you would have probably liked to have had Kevin Fiala there right now, right? But like I get what you're saying, though. They did get a good return for him at least. And it really helped that he was an RFA. I think that was a huge part of it. But let's be honest, when he was playing as well as he did, it was written in the books that he was not going to return. They weren't going to renegotiate between Fiala's camp and Bill Guerin with the drama they went through the year before. It just wasn't going to happen. Morgan said shell shocked. Interesting word. I don't know. That's just a word I use every once in a while. And it kind of is more it gets your attention, right? Shell shocked by that move or this or that, right? It's a good headliner. Urban said, worth that 1 year prove it deal to me. It'll work out. Okay. All right. So Urban likes the move. I honestly think they should have gave him a little more term. But again, like I said, he looks stupid if Fiala goes out there and plays flat. And maybe he doesn't have this season he has if he doesn't have a new contract trying to come that year. If he knows he's got 3 or 4 years in Minnesota, maybe he doesn't have the success that he did last year, right? So coulda, woulda, shoulda. Again, that's how this thing works, right? And guys, if you're in the chat, guys, thank you for joining us. Make sure to like the video and leave your guys' thoughts on the Capitals and the Rangers game. We're also flipping back and forth between the Oilers and Blue Jackets. That is a heck of a hockey game in Columbus right now. And like I said, if you guys want to guarantee that I answer your question, don't be afraid to throw some super chats. You guys are the best. I appreciate your support as always. Shaka said Avs acquired Keith Kincaid from the Bruins for Shane Bowers. Just dropped. Who is Shane Bowers? Morgan asks. So Shane Bowers, I believe, is a Colorado Avalanche prospect back in the day. Yes. Oh, yeah. He's part of, yeah. So Shane Bowers is an Avalanche prospect. This isn't a mock trade. Thank you, Shaka. I'll take a look on Twitter right now. That's interesting. So it's not a huge trade. But Keith Kincaid, so this is a move by Colorado to get a depth goaltender. And it's funny because Keith Kincaid was traded, I want to say 2 years ago. He was on Columbus. Yeah, the Columbus Blue Jackets traded him as depth, right? When they had Panarin, Duchesne, they brought in Keith Kincaid as some depth. That's an extra goalie insurance move for the Avalanche. And he was, I believe, playing in Providence for the Bruins. And Shane Bowers, I don't really have interest in AHL or any minor leagues. I'm a diehard NHL guy. Fiala turned into a 200-foot player. It's a good thing. Just remember, Fiala always disappeared in the playoffs. And that was the big criticism of him. And considering we haven't seen the Kings in the playoffs since he's joined LA, that is still to be determined. That is very true. Shane Bowers to Boston. What? Okay, so we have a couple of guys on the waiver wire as well. Patrick Kane is not playing tonight. Guys, Patrick Kane is not playing tonight. And that's from Puck Report on NHL. Additionally, this is from the Blackhawks. Additionally, forwards Patrick Kane and Sam Lafferty will not play in tonight's games. So Patrick Kane, for roster management reasons, have you heard roster management reasons before? Things are watching the Rangers game. Very interesting. Hold on, guys. Whew. Had to sneeze real quick. So an interesting development. Patrick Kane will be healthy scratched for roster management reasons. That is huge. So as well as the Shane Bowers trade, like I said, Shane Bowers, if I'm not mistaken, he was a pretty highly regarded prospect. He was drafted by the Avalanche and oh no, he wasn't. Shane Bowers was a Senators player. He was a part of the Matt Duchesne trade, but I believe Shane Bowers was a part of the Matt Duchesne trade from Ottawa to Colorado. Somebody can confirm that for me. I'm looking, but I'm almost positive that's Shane Bowers. So he's 23 years old. He's played in the AHL for the Colorado. No way. And the Capitals score again. Kuznetsov, who I thought was having an off day, and it's 5-1 Capitals before the end of 40 minutes. Wow. And the Capitals. This is what I said, guys. I think the Capitals are trying to make a statement that they are not done yet. And a defensive breakdown by the Rangers as well. Alexis Lafreniere loses the puck in the middle of the ice. And that's just a miscue by Ben Harper. Ben Harper not covering his guy, got caught puck watching. And a 4-goal lead for the Capitals. But the latest news, Patrick Kane is a healthy scratch tonight for roster management reasons. That is huge. Going back to the Shane Bowers trade, he has spent now 5 seasons with the Colorado Eagles in the AHL. He played one game with the Avalanche this season, and obviously things have not worked out. He was the 28th overall pick by the Ottawa Senators back in the 2017 NHL draft. So a former first round pick. Interesting deal here. So the Bruins getting some depth, and I think Shane Bowers has the name of a guy that could play in Boston. I think it fits. So let me know your guys' thoughts on that. Morgan said, hey, Kev, I only have IG. Who should I follow to keep up with NHL trade news? Puck Report NHL is a really good one. NHL Rumors Daily is another pretty good one. I would love to say Goal Line Hockey, but I'm really struggling with the Instagram. So, of course, if you're on Instagram, check out Goal Line _ Hockey. But for trade news, Puck Report, NHL Rumors Daily, some of those guys, those are some of your best sources. And yeah, shout out to the Kuznetsov celly. That was a heck of a celly there by Kuzi. I'm surprised he didn't do the eagle, the flying eagle one. Urban said Bowers was a top 10 pick. Nope, 28th overall back in 2017. And yes, he was a part of the Matt Duchene trade. Oh, Ali Desh would love that I'm talking about that Duchene trade with the Senators because that was a tough deal for the Senators. And it ended up costing them Bowen Byram. That first round pick became Bowen Byram, which is insane. Urban said, if I'm Kane watching this, I don't want to be a Ranger. Imagine he pulls out at the last second because of this game. Now, he's always wanted to go to the Rangers. You know, you have to remember that game back on December 4th where Trouba threw his helmet and there was all that scuffling and fighting. Kane was on the rink that game where the Rangers were having problems. He has wanted to be a Ranger for a while now. This is not something new. So I mean, it would be kind of a funny thing, but I think at the end of the day, he still wants to go to the Rangers despite what he sees. And I think Kane's one of those guys that has the confidence to say, I'm the guy that can turn that team around. I think he's the guy that would say that. And to be honest, he's freaking Patrick Kane. So he kind of has the ability to say that. So we are going back. So it is the end of the second period. We are in the second intermission. Oilers, Capitals, Rangers, and a 5-1 lead for the Capitals. But in the meantime, we're going back to the Oilers and Blue Jackets. A power play for the Oilers. The Blue Jackets have regained the lead, giving up 4 straight unanswered. It was 4-4. The Blue Jackets now have scored 40 shots already on net through 50 minutes of play for the Oilers, but they are down by a goal. Shout out to Jonas Corposalo as he is giving them a chance in this game. Puck Report and NHL Rumors Daily, Morgan. That's the other one you should watch. And come on, Goal Line _ Hockey as well, just to give us the sub. And here comes McDavid. Uh-oh. They have to like triple team McDavid. It's ridiculous. Uh-oh. There's McDavid. Oh, McDavid's looking for that hat trick, man. Bring him to Vegas if he doesn't want to be a Ranger. That's true. I think he would go to Vegas if it wasn't the Rangers, but I think he's going to end up going to the Rangers. And again, the fact that he's being roster management, he is not playing tonight. That is an even bigger one. Urban said, nah, just put Brodeen on him, LOL. Yeah. Shaka said McDavid and Oshie hat tricks. I'm telling you, Shaka, I think it is inevitable. They have a whole third period, both of them, and they have been buzzing. They've had multiple opportunities. I think the Blue Jackets at this point are doing everything possible to keep McDavid from scoring. I think Brad Larson said, if we lose this game, let it be because of Warren Fogle or Puljujarvi or Yamamoto or Draisaitl, but do not let McDavid complete that hat trick in this game. I think that's what you're looking at here. But we'll see what happens. There's plenty of hockey to go here. And the Oilers have 10 seconds left on their power play. Korpisalo keeping them in the game. Shout out to Jonas Korpisalo as he's going to be an interesting trade chip going into this year's deadline. He's a UFA this summer and has been one of the better goalies in terms of performance since the beginning of this year in 2023. And Jake Lecision of the Rangers will clear waivers today. Now from Darren Pang, the latest is Darren Pang tweeted, it's believed Kane has returned home and is no longer with the team. Patrick Kane no longer with the team and is with his family at home. Guys. And Patrick Kane, according to Elliot Friedman, will not play tonight for Chicago. We have some updates on former Capitals here today. Garnet Hathaway will wear number 21. An interesting number choice for Orlov. He wore this number back in the day in Washington. Dmitry Orlov will wear number 81 for the black and gold. This is from Arthur Staple, who's a Rangers beat writer. He says, the Rangers hang Shesterkin out to dry on horrific change. Kuznetsov in alone, 5-1. Still 2 minutes left in the second. Rangers look like a team holding its breath, waiting for something to happen. And that's kind of what we've been saying here over the last couple of the last hour or so is, the Rangers are, it seems like they're holding their breath for something. And it sounds inevitable at this point. We're just waiting for the official release from the NHL. But now I kind of want to keep the stream going till this trade happens because I think it is very close. Interesting news as well. Frank Saravelli, we talked about Pittsburgh earlier. The St. Louis Blues have claimed Kasperi Kapanen off of waivers. What do you guys think of that? Interesting pickup for the St. Louis Blues. And now Penguins fans are probably annoyed. Now they free up the cap space, which is nice. And now I think the Penguins are ready to make a move. I do. I think they cleared up the cap space for a reason. They didn't have to do that. But the Blues, shout out to Blues Freak. He's one of our supporters here at Goal Line Hockey. The Blues have claimed Kasperi Kapanen off of waivers. I think it's a good fit, at least for the rest of this season. Kapanen might even get some PP time. Yo, we got a super chat from the one, the only Ali Dash. And he says, yo, of course, welcome to the chat, Ali Dash, coming in with a bang. Welcome to the chat, Ali Dash. And we've been talking about a lot of interesting things. So some of you guys jumping into the chat, make sure to like the live stream. It helps us out. So we have a couple of interesting reports. We have a smaller trade. We have Keith Kincaid of the Bruins going to the Colorado Avalanche for former first-round pick Shane Bowers going to Boston. The Bruins add some center depth down the middle. He's more of an AHL guy. He's only played one game in the NHL. He was a part of the Matt Duchene trade a couple years back. And Keith Kincaid comes in as some goalie depth for the Colorado Avalanche on hopefully a playoff run. Meanwhile, we have some big news on Patrick Kane and the Patrick Kane drama. Not only are the Rangers losing 5-1 and playing like a team that's holding their breath, but Patrick Kane is home with his family and has left the team this afternoon. Patrick Kane is a healthy scratch tonight for management reasons. And Jake Lecision placed on waivers by the Rangers. And Kasperi Kapanen was cleared. He went onto waivers yesterday by the Penguins and was picked up by the St. Louis Blues. And like I said, Kasperi Kapanen will probably get a chance for some more minutes as they have traded out O'Reilly, Tarasenko, and maybe even more. Maybe even Ivan Barbashev. He could potentially get some power play time. I think that's a win there. Kane watch is in full effect now. Hawks with a morning skate in a few hours. Curious if Kane partakes. Patrick Kane will not participate tonight against the San Jose Sharks. So we have probably seen the last game of Patrick Kane in Chicago. The Penguins have activated defenseman Jan Rutta from injured reserve. That was a big thing. I think the Penguins were, he was close to a return. They didn't have the salary with Kapanen. So maybe this is all it is for the Penguins is they get rid of Kapanen, but now they get the space back for Jan Rutta. So this could mean nothing for the Penguins or it could mean everything. So we'll see what happens. Morgan says, what is PK Subban wearing? Bro looks worse than him on the NHL 19 cover. No, I'm not watching the NHL coverage on ABC. I'm watching the end of the Oilers Blue Jackets game. This has been a hell of a game. The Blue Jackets had a 4-0 lead. McDavid scores 2 goals in the second, ties it at 4 before the end of the second period. And now Columbus holding on to a 5-4 lead. McDavid's trying to get that hat trick. This has been a heck of a game. A couple of trade partners as well. Mind I add, Vladislav Gavrikov has been linked to the Oilers, as well as Jonas Korpisalo. So there's a lot of interesting stuff going on here. And this has been a heck of a game. A couple of really good matinee games. As we get into the afternoon, this whole Patrick Kane thing is getting really, really, really interesting. And as well as Sam Lafferty, that's from Charlie. He says that hearing Sam Lafferty isn't expected to dress for Chicago tonight for trade-related reasons. So a couple of interesting things going on in the Central Division. Kasperi Kapanen goes to the Blues, claimed off of waivers, and Sam Lafferty and Patrick Kane are healthy scratched due to roster management reasons for tonight. So, guys, things are getting hot in here. Ali Desh says, wow, never thought I'd see Kasperi Kapanen on waivers. That's nuts. Yeah, I think the Penguins just couldn't get any offers for him that they were really interested in. So they put him on waivers. I think it came down to they were going to have to give up like a 3rd or 4th round pick to move his contract. And the Blues said, yeah, we'll take him. Why not? They have nothing to lose. Ali Desh says, Blue Jackets got no swag. You're right, Ali Desh. Shout out to PJ. Welcome back to the chat, PJ. He said, I hope the Flames make a trade today. A forward, maybe Ivan Barbashev. Yeah, I think Barbashev would be a good fit for the Calgary Flames. I think he fits the Daryl Sutter system and things like that. So we'll see what happens. Anyone specific you'd like to move out? Who are you hoping for in a trade? That's interesting. So we're watching the final minutes of the Oilers and Blue Jackets. This has been a great game so far. A great live stream. Of course, an Ali Desh super chat. Thank you so much, Ali Desh. You are the best. Blue Jackets are so close. I kind of want the Blue Jackets to win this game. I don't want them getting Connor Bedard. The Blue Jackets do not need Bedard. They already have Cole Sillinger. They have Alexander Texier if he comes back next year. And the Blue Jackets just added to the lead. Number 96. I don't know who that is. But Stuart Skinner coming in relief. And the Oilers are going to let this one slip because the goaltending has fallen apart. And PJ, you might get your wish here. Jack Roslovic. And it's 6-4 Columbus. I hope the Oilers lose. It will make my day so much better. PJ, you are about to get your wish, my man. Jack Roslovic. And yeah, Stuart Skinner should have had that. I mean, it was a great shot by Roslovic, but you got to make that save. And I said 6-4 Oilers. It looks right now like it's going to end up being final score 6-4 Blue Jackets. So I was right on the score, just the wrong teams. But nonetheless, I will give myself a little bit of credit for that. So let's see what happens here down the stretch. 5 minutes to go in that game. Shaka said, need the Jackets to win so the Sharks can keep tanking. And you're going to get your wish too, Shaka. So PJ's going to be happy because the Oilers lose. So he's just enjoying the Oilers' misery. And we're looking at Shaka, who is the Sharks fan, wants to see the Blue Jackets maybe pick up some points and kind of ruin their tank mission. And I'm with you on that as well. Ali Desh talking about the Raptors. He said, the Raptors won this afternoon, so my day is off to a good start. I guess that's your only basketball team, right, is the Raptors up there in Canada. Ali Desh, when the Oilers are playing, always bet on the over. That's right, especially with McDavid and Draisaitl in the lineup. And again, the way the Oilers' goaltending has been, maybe if this even raises the storyline even more about maybe adding both Vladislav Gavrikov and Jonas Korpisalo ahead of the deadline. This could be a very interesting next 48 hours for the Oilers because they are on the hot seat. They've, The other night they played well against the Penguins, but the goaltending has been an issue for a while now. Shaka said there's still time. LOL. It's not over. With the way this game has gone, you never know, but I would not I think Columbus is on a mission to win this game. They're in front of their home fans. They blew that lead earlier. I do not see them blowing a 2-goal lead in the final 3 minutes. I just don't see it. Like, they need a goal right now if I'm Edmonton to have that belief, but this is going to be a tough one. And guys, you know what? Very underrated thought right now. Shout out to the Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi has held up this whole time. I haven't had to shut down the stream. This has been really good so far. We haven't had too many problems. So shout out to the Wi-Fi. It's been strong this afternoon for us. So thank you very much to the live stream. So the New York Islanders, oh, geez, this is just some stupid promotion. Wow. So even bigger news here. Patrick Kane not playing tonight, leaves San Jose on a plane back to Chicago. So you know that this is done, guys. And we are just waiting for the details to come out. Wow. So this game, this is going to be interesting, ladies and gentlemen. The Leafs have placed Jordy Ben on waivers. This creates even more cap flexibility in advance of Friday's deadline. And again, makes you wonder if Vladislav Gavrikov to Toronto. But the problem with the Leafs, I've been trying to make mock trades for a defenseman. The Leafs, they've traded all their draft picks for the next couple of years, and they've traded all the prospects that they would be willing to trade, right? I think. They're not trading Matthew Nyes. Would they trade Nick Abruzzese? Would they trade Rasmus Sandin? Like, it's going to take a lot for them. It's going to take a roster player off for somebody to come in. So we'll see what happens. But the Leafs creating some cap space should be interesting. And the Oilers just scored. So with 2:56 to go in regulation, Zach Hyman makes it a 1-goal game. Columbus. There's no way they blow this. They had a 2-goal lead. No way they blow this. That was a great tip in there by Hyman. That's why they brought him in. Zach Hyman, that guy he's in the right spot at the right time. Shout out to Zach Hyman. Honestly, that's a goal scorer's goal right there. Able to take the puck down off his body, put it right in front of him, and just tap it right into the goal. That's a great shot. And the Oilers have 46 shots on net to the Blue Jackets 26. So again, that just shows you just the problems in between the pipes for the Oilers has just been really, really, it is a huge storyline right now going into the deadline for the Oilers. And the Oilers are fighting so hard. This is insane. They might tie it, guys. There's still 2 minutes left in this game. The Oilers might tie this hockey game. Another storyline for the Rangers for the third consecutive game. The Rangers are down 4-1 in the game. All right, so guys, we are getting some confirmation here from Elliot Friedman 2 minutes ago, hearing that Vancouver will be acquiring Vitaly Kravtsov from the Rangers. So this is a 3-team trade. This is live 2 minutes ago. Elliot Friedman tweeted, hearing that Vancouver will be acquiring Vitaly Kravtsov from the New York Rangers. Guys, a deal is imminent at this point. Wow. And somebody had tweeted, imagine the Rangers had just kept Panarin. Good Lord. Vince, who is a Rangers reporter, he said, you can understand the Rangers being somewhat distracted right now, but some of these goals they're giving up lately just look like a lack of effort. That should be unacceptable. Yeah, that's a very good point. And it sounds inevitable because now Vitaly Kravtsov is heading to the Rangers. Halak is in net for the third for the Rangers. So Igor Shesterkin pulled after 2 periods. And according to Pierre LeBrun, he said, sounds like things are heating up on the Meyer trade front. Teams list of teams shrinking as Sharks zero in on what they want to do. So that's probably part of what Shaka was talking about earlier. And Edmonton called the timeout. And with 91 seconds left in this hockey game, the Oilers are trying to come back once again. I told you it wasn't over, Kevin. You're right, Shaka. You're right, Shaka. I got to give it to you. But listen, the fat lady is warming up her vocals, but she has not sang yet. Let's see what happens here. And this is, according to Chris Johnston, Vitaly Kravtsov has been traded to the Vancouver Canucks. So the Canucks, Rangers, and Blackhawks are finalizing for Patrick Kane. Unbelievable. Wow. And I assume things are going to pick up here. So, guys, I am not going anywhere. Stay tuned. So, Vitaly Kravtsov is going to the Vancouver Canucks. It's official. Chris Johnston and now Elliot Friedman. And we are going to continue to look at the assets involved. Stay tuned, guys. But it sounds like the deal is finishing up at this point. Wow. Urban says, gonna be a long week. Yep, it will be a long week, Urban. Guys, quick plug. Next Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern, we will be doing the Goal Line Hockey Trade Tracker live stream. But now that Horvat, Tarasenko, O'Reilly, and now Patrick Kane are about to be traded, I might be doing some juggling next Friday. Maybe I'll get some Taco Bell and juggle tacos and do Taco Bell juggle, because at this point, I don't know what else we're going to do next Friday. All the bigger trades are happening right now. So the latest report, Vitaly Kravtsov is going to the Vancouver Canucks. That is the latest we have gotten, and nothing since then. So I will continue to keep you guys updated. And now everybody is going with that. Okay. Hold on. So this is maybe the first trade of 2. So Patrick Alvin, so the Vancouver Canucks on Twitter, GM Patrick Alvin announced today that the Vancouver Canucks have acquired forward Vitaly Kravtsov from the New York Rangers in exchange for William Lockwood and a 7th-round pick in the 2026 NHL entry draft. So Vitaly Kravtsov goes to the Vancouver Canucks. I assume this is the first of 2 trades here, and they are setting off confetti in Columbus. Why are they setting off confetti in Columbus? They barely won this game. Okay, so the Blue Jackets win the game, thank God. And I think PJ and Shaka and myself are quite happy, but setting off streamers, that's what you do after winning a playoff series, not after barely beating the Oilers. Good Lord. Maybe because McDavid didn't get they're becoming like Nashville with this. Like, oh, McDavid didn't get a hat trick, so we should set off the streamers. That's kind of what it's looking like. Wow. So, okay. So I was thinking maybe a 3-team trade, but it looks like it'll be 2 separate trades. So Kravtsov, and then the Rangers pick up Lockwood and a 7th-round pick. Interesting. So I assume this has something to do with the Rangers moving out the salary, or the contract. I think it's the contract here because, again, depending on what they're trading back in the Kane deal, I assume, and I don't know this for certain, but the fact they moved a roster player and sent them out first is telling me that they're not sending another roster player out in the Kane trade. Does that make sense? Because if they're trading out Kravtsov, that's one guy out the door. Now they bring in Kane, that keeps them at that number of roster players, and then they can make the move here. So whether that's a prospect or draft picks out the door, maybe the Rangers aren't trading Barclay Goodrow after all. And I assume that there'll be some sort of Kyle Dubas debauchery in terms of the salary. Maybe there is still a 3-team trade. A team takes 25% of the salary, a third party. Chicago takes 50%, and the Rangers take the other 25%, kind of like the Ryan O'Reilly deal. I think that's what we're looking at here. So I still think there could still be a 3-team trade here in terms of the salary. But again, that all seems imminent at this point. But so far, the Rangers have traded Vitaly Kravtsov to the Vancouver Canucks for William Lockwood and a 7th-round pick in 2026. More of a roster move so they could free up the space to make the move to bring in Patrick Kane on the roster. So they are still at the maximum roster number. Kravtsov is gone, and that allows Patrick Kane to take his place. And it also allows them to keep from putting a guy like Jimmy Vesey on waivers as well. You have to assume they don't want to put him on waivers. He's played quite well this year. So there's a couple of different factors here, but really an interesting trade as we get going here. So not the massive trade yet, but we are getting there. Okay. And Elliot Friedman said, no, not Hoglander. Hoglander not in the deal. It's William Lockwood, and I don't believe money moving to give the Rangers a little bit more cap space, and that's probably a part of it too. Michael Russo said, drip, drip, drip. Patrick Kane inches from becoming a Ranger. He may have to play goal, though. Uh-oh. So the Rangers might need help in between the pipes. I would have liked to see the Rangers bring back Keith Kincaid. I think he liked being with the Rangers. They traded him earlier today. That would have been kind of nice. And I've said that. I think the Rangers should be going. I mean, if they're going all the way, nuts deep into this season, imagine like Shesterkin's playing the way he is and Halak is Halak. That could be a problem. Whoa, we got to fight. Schneider, Panarin, Ovechkin, Tarasenko, everybody's in it. Yeah, the Rangers look a little bit cranky today. But I think they know the inevitable, so they're not too upset right now. And guys, if you're in the chat, make sure to like the video and let me know your guys' thoughts on the Rangers inching closer and closer to the Patrick Kane trade. The saga seems to be coming to an end soon. Urban said week of DoorDash or girlfriend does girlfriend things. Uh-oh, Urban. Shaka said, did they win? Let's go. Yes, the Blue Jackets came up. They scared probably the bejesus out of everyone in CBJ, but they found a way to close out the win. Ali Desh said, imagine bringing in Tarasenko and Patrick Kane. Shaking my head. It seems inevitable at this point, Ali Desh. It's a grim reality as an Islanders fan, but it seems very close. Dylan Strome and Tom Wilson are in the box for the Capitals. And we don't know who's in the box for the Rangers, but there is a lot going on. And the way Panarin's coming off the bench, I assume the Rangers have a power play. Let's see what happens here. Yeah, I'm going to guess the Rangers have a power play. PJ said, I hope the Rangers in the first round. Yeah, you and me both, PJ. You and me both. So Vitaly Kravtsov's underwhelming time with the Rangers is done. He's been traded to Vancouver, where he should get a chance to get his NHL career moving in a better direction. Can he? Not sure. For the Rangers, it certainly could be a prelude to something bigger, of course. Yeah, I'm happy for him. I think it's a good thing to see. The last couple weeks we've seen Virtanen, the first guy on the bench for practice and stuff like that for morning skate. I think that's a good thing. Oh man, Schneider and Wilson were going at it pretty hard. I think this is something to watch for. And another news here from Cap Friendly. Shout out to Cap Friendly. They said on waivers, Kasperi Kapanen clears waivers as he goes to St. Louis. Placed on waivers, Jake Lecision of the Rangers, Vinny Lettieri, former Ranger, for the Bruins, and Jordy Ben of the Toronto Maple Leafs. Kevin Gravel of the Nashville Predators cleared waivers. So that's the waiver wire for today. And we also, Urban probably knows one. I'll never forget William Nylander being available for the Minnesota Wild and turning down that deal for him, which I believe was, what was it? It was Matt Dumba for William Nylander. What could have been, but that's Paul Fenton saying, nah, we'll keep Matt Dumba and not trade him for William Nylander. He knows probably exactly what I'm talking about. Shout out to that. So the Rangers with a two-man power play. This is it for the Rangers. If their last gasps of breath in this game, Dumba for Nylander, thanks. Shake my head. It's true. And the Rangers score a 5-on-3 power play goal for the Rangers. Uh-oh. We got 13 minutes left, and if you watched that Blue Jackets game earlier, no lead is safe. A 3-goal lead. The Rangers still have a power play with 13 minutes to go. Nux for life, boy. Welcome to the chat. He said the Canucks just got Kravtsov for Lockwood and a 7th. Yeah, I like the deal. Nux for life. I like the deal for the Canucks. I talked about it a little bit. Obviously, the Canucks are the side piece in this trade, to be completely honest, because they're not getting Kane. But I think it's a good trade for the Canucks. I think Kravtsov is, I believe, a former first-round pick. He struggled under the, what's his name? The current coach of the Sharks, David Quinn. Loving it myself. Yeah, I think Kravtsov is a perfect fit there. Honestly, I think it's a move that the Rangers just are too loaded right now. He wasn't going to get the ice time that maybe he deserves or wants. And we're going to see how good or not Kravtsov is. If Kravtsov is really that good, he's going to get power play minutes here down the stretch. The Canucks score a lot of goals. And I think that Rick Tocchet is a really good coach for him as well. I think this is a great move. Welcome back, Morgan, and back again. What's going on, Ali Desh? Yes, back again is Morgan. Shout out to you guys. And guys, make sure to like the stream as we get closer and closer to the Patrick Kane trade. As Kravtsov traded to the Canucks for William Lockwood and a 7th-round pick in 2026. Interesting deal. We have a good game still in Capital One Arena, as the Rangers have made it a 3-goal lead, 5-2, 12 minutes left. This could be an interesting finish as things have gotten a little bit feisty in Washington. So make sure to like the video, guys. Thank you so much. And let me know what you guys are thinking in the comment section. What do you guys think of the Kravtsov trade to the Canucks? What do you guys think of the Rangers today against the Capitals? I'm sure a lot of grumpy Rangers fans, but maybe to just an extent because they know that Kane's probably coming in. So we got a lot of interesting things going on here. The Rangers have played much better in the third period, much more promising here than what we've seen through the second period, where they looked really, really flat. And Morgan saying this is most likely over. I said that earlier about the Oilers game, but they ended up making things really interesting. So you never really know. I get what you're saying there, but you never know. Let's see what happens here down the stretch. Nux for Life said the Russia train is here, I guess. That's true. Yeah, because who do they have? They have Vasily Podkolzin. They should have picked up Nikita Zaitsev the other day. They've got Kravtsov mid-game, need a Trouba versus Ovi fight. Trouba versus Ovi fight. Who wins that fight? Ovi versus Trouba. Let me know what you guys think. Who wins the Ovi versus Trouba fight? I don't think it's going to happen, but it's fun to think about nonetheless, right? Ovi all day. Probably. I'd like to think Ovi would. Trouba, okay. Morgan says, I swear, if the Rangers come back, Patty Kane is on speed dial. I think they already have the deal done. According to a couple reports, Patrick Kane took the flight with the Blackhawks to San Jose, but is coming back home. He's on the plane home right now to see his family. He is not playing tonight. He's a healthy scratch for roster management reasons from the Chicago Blackhawks. A trade is imminent. Ever seen Obi lose a fight? No. The answer is no. That is true, Urban. Lights DePhil. Welcome to the chat, Lights DePhil. Will we see the Penguins and Capitals match in the playoffs? No. Unless the Capitals or Rangers get into one of the top seeds in the division, that will not happen. And I just think that's very unlikely. That's a very good old playoff series in the Eastern Conference. That will not be the case. I don't think maybe potentially either of those teams even make the playoffs, let alone just finding a way to get to the wild card spot. But I appreciate that. Ali Desh, Kevin, what happened to Beauvillier? Is he a bust? What should fans expect of him in Vancouver? He's played well in Vancouver so far. The problem with Beauvillier is he's got that puppy dog face, the guy that you can't help but love, but Beauvillier is super streaky. He'll go on a couple. He always plays well against the Canadians, which that's something to mention. He's from that area. He grew up, I think, in like the French. I mean, his name's Beauvillier, right? So it kind of makes sense. He always plays well against the Habs. He's going to always play well against the Islanders. But the second he hits that slump, he is really tough. Like he is just completely snake bitten. But when he's on his game, he is very valuable. It's just the times he's not, it is really frustrating. Urban says Beauvillier is an older Fiala, in my opinion. Yeah, I think that's a good comparison. But I would say Fiala is honestly better. But yeah, that's a pretty good comparison there, Urban. And guys, make sure to like the live stream if you're just joining us. Thank you so much. As we kind of are on Patrick Kane trade watch, as Patrick Kane is on a flight back home with his family, will not be playing, a healthy scratch tonight. And Kraftstop traded to the Vancouver Canucks is the latest report. And the Blue Jackets, shout out to the Columbus Blue Jackets for what it's worth. The Blue Jackets had a sellout today in a very nail-biter game against the Edmonton Oilers. Shout out to the Blue Jackets. Maybe that's why they had the streamers go off for a win, right? They actually won a game in Nationwide Arena. Morgan says, my friend is an Isles fan, and she has a Beauvillier jersey, but kept Bo and then put tape that said Horvath. That's interesting. Urban said for Bo, Fiala is definitely better, but if Beauvillier figures it out, look out. Yeah, and I think he has a chance to. He's going to have more opportunities to score. Kuznetsov just undressed Halak. And now Kuznetsov and Oshie are both on hat-trick watch here at the end of this game. Halak is pissed because he just got destroyed. What a goal by Kuznetsov. Oh, man. Kuznetsov is disrespecting the Rangers. Whew. What a goal. That's Kuznetsov, man. Oh my God. What a beauty by Evgeny Kuznetsov. Oh my God. Yeah, what a goal. And that's why he gets paid. That is why he gets paid. Man, I'm kind of scared. I got to be honest. This could launch the Capitals back on their mission. Ovechkin's back in the lineup. The first game after the Orlov trade. This could set the Capitals. They could be back on a mission here, ladies and gentlemen. Watch out for the Capitals. I mean, is this a one-game thing? Maybe, but very, very promising. Those Capitals fans are very happy as they are putting on a show for their fans in red against the Blue Shirts. And Timo Meyer will not play tonight. We already knew that, but the latest on that, Timo Meyer and Patrick Kane both held out of the lineups tonight, which you would assume, whether it's bubble wrap, the game of bubble wrap, or a trade is imminent. It sounds like that. A little bit of both, probably. Darren Drager said there wasn't a market for Kravtsov. Some concern over a return to the KHL. Clearly, the Rangers have cleared some cap space today. That's a good idea here. There is the sense that Kravtsov this summer could say, "I'm going back to Russia," and I guess it's worth the risk here, right? For the Canucks, right? They pick up, it's Lockwood in a 7th-round pick. There's not a ton of risk there. But if it does work out and Kravtsov maybe wants to stay, he's playing on the power play. Maybe he does want to stay and stick this thing out in Vancouver. We'll see what happens with that. We've also heard from the Canucks, and this is for Nucks fan for life. Or what is it? Nucks for life. Patrick Alvina announced that Curtis Lazar has been placed on injured reserve. So I'm not really sure what that means. Maybe that's just to get Kravtsov in. Morgan, hey Kev, fave Isles jersey of all time. Mine is the Sailor one. Are you talking about the Fisherman? The Fisherman jersey. The Fisherman is nice. Favorite of all time, though? Okay, so I think the Fisherman, yes, is my favorite, the white Fisherman. But I think that's kind of easy. I would say the Islanders Royal or Navy Blue. The Islanders Navy Blue jersey they wore in the mid 2000s, early 2010s. I really liked that jersey as well. And I actually have that in the closet. Ali Desh says, Kravtsov, screw you guys. You got to say it in the Cartman voice. Screw you guys. I'm going home. Shout out to Ali Dash. Blues Freak, welcome to the chat. What are your thoughts on the Blues picking up Kapanen right before their game against the Pens? And I actually mentioned you earlier, Blues Freak. Shout out to you. I think this is a good pickup. Kapanen, again, there's not much risk. They didn't trade anything for him. It's just the salary. They're bringing in the salary. That's the only bad side of this. Is the salary, right? That's why they weren't able to trade him. But in that sense, I think for the rest of this year with Tarasenko, O'Reilly out, it allows them to have Kapanen maybe showcase himself and play on the power play. So I think it's a good thing for Kapanen. And like I said, little risk here for the Blues down the stretch. Now, the problem is because of the salary, does this take them out of the Timo Meyer and Jacob Chikrin sweepstakes? That's something I'd be interested in. But other than that, I don't think it's too bad. PJ says, I think the Islanders should fire their GM. Well, Lou is on the final year of his deal and has not been extended. If the Islanders miss the playoffs, it depends. The Islanders ownership is still fairly new. They were quick to drop the ball on Garth Snow. Maybe the ownership of the Islanders, if they're really committed to winning, I wouldn't be surprised if the Islanders did let go of Lou this summer. It could happen. Morgan says, you're trying to see hockey at UBS, but on the top of the stadium, you see Matt Barzell shredding on a skateboard. No, that man has to be in bubble wrap. He's definitely not healthy right now. That's a funny comment there, though. So the Rangers are getting obliterated on the road, 6-2. Shesterkin pulled after 2 periods, and Halak is playing in his 3rd consecutive game. And you wonder if maybe the little bit of dustiness from not playing for a week for Shesterkin is wearing on him. And Kravtsov traded to the Vancouver Canucks for a 7th-round pick and William Lockwood. Low risk, high reward, high risk, high reward potentially for Patrick Alvine and the Canucks. And the Russian roulette is in Vancouver, as now they've got Podkolzin and Kravtsov there in Vancouver. And guys, thank you for joining the chat. And Urban is blaming it all on the defense. I think that's true. And Ryan Lindgren left the game apparently with an upper body injury in the first period, an Oshie questionable hit. So the Rangers are playing without Lindgren. We're seeing a lot more of number 5 out there, which is Ben Harper. And I think a lot of Rangers fans are a little bit concerned with that. Yeah, the defense has been bad. A couple of bad line changes. I'm not putting it all on Shesterkin. But nonetheless, again, last year he was bailing them out. And in the prime Henrik Lundqvist era, he would bail them out of games that they probably shouldn't have won. I get what you're saying, Urban. It's that I'm not putting all the pressure on him, but you have to wonder if that's at the very least a little bit something that's happened, right? He hasn't been playing as much. It's just true. At least Oshie checked on him. Yeah, I don't think Oshie meant to hit him into the boards like that. The game is so fast, so to say that is kind of dumb. Even the Goudreau fight after that, I mean, it was entertaining, but was it really necessary? I don't think so. But again, that's part of it. PJ says, imagine Lou gets fired and the Isles hire Dubas or Tree Living as next GM, assuming those two get fired. And yeah, that could happen. It could happen. I don't think it's likely. I think Tree Living, if he doesn't make some moves ahead of if the Flames miss the playoffs, Tree Living's gone in Calgary. And same thing for Dubas. So yeah, I mean the Leafs are making the playoffs, but how far they go, it could be interesting. I think you're more likely to see Tree Living on the hot seat than Dubas, though, despite everything that's happened in Toronto. And at least Dubas made a move, right? Like he did make a move. At this point, Tree Living hasn't done anything, and his team is on the fringe of maybe missing the playoffs. The Capitals are, considering they lost Orlov and Hathaway, are playing pretty good, like structured defense. They're not giving the Rangers much here. So things have quieted down here a little bit. And I might be doing a stream here in a little bit. I think I'm going to take a little break and I'll come back to you guys later, probably tonight with trades, because it sounds like Patrick Kane is going to the Rangers today. To give you guys a quick update to some of you who are just joining us, Patrick Kane took the flight with the team to San Jose. They're playing the Sharks tonight. He was a healthy scratch, quote unquote, for roster management reasons. There's one other team in the league that has said the exact same thing for some of their players. Vitaly Kravtsov goes to the Canucks. Patrick Kane is on a flight back home today to see his family, and it sounds like something is brewing in New York, despite the Rangers down 4 goals in the final minute down in Washington. I think the storyline for the Rangers today, they look distracted. Definitely not much defensive structure throughout this game. And the Rangers, Kakko scores a goal. So it's 6-3. The Rangers make it a 3-goal game. Not much celebration from Kakko, but they do score a goal, make it a little bit more respectable. A lot of Rangers fans still in attendance. Shout out to them. But they look distracted today, and they've looked, the Rangers are about to lose their 3rd straight. They lost to Calgary, Detroit, and Washington to end this big road trip. I think they'll be happy to come home, but the test doesn't get easier. They have to take on the LA Kings at MSG tomorrow afternoon at 5 o'clock Eastern. That's a big game for the Rangers back at home. Potentially the first game for Patrick Kane in a Ranger sweater. That just scares the crap out of me, but I think we are looking at that reality. Dallas lost 5 straight this week, and we've been saying they kind of look like a pretender. So they have a big game tonight against the Golden Knights. Guys, like I said, I'll be doing a live stream tonight. I'm excited for that one. We'll probably go over all of the night games, so stay tuned for that. There's 3 Western Conference games. Of course, Patrick Kane not in attendance in San Jose. The Blackhawks are. The Dallas Stars head to Vegas to take on the Sin City Vegas Golden Knights, Morgan's team. And a couple of other games tonight as well. I'm blanking on the 3rd one. I think it's the Jets and the Avalanche play again, right? So we'll get to see that because that got a little feisty last night. But things are definitely interesting. Jordy Ben is on waivers for the Leafs, so the Leafs could be looking to make a trade, make Vladislav Gavrikov, Luke Shen, a couple of interesting things there. But guys, stay tuned tonight because I think we are not done quite yet. So, guys, leave your last questions before we get off of here for this afternoon. Thank you guys so much for joining. Shout out to the Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi has held up strong for us this afternoon. Guys, I will be back tonight. Probably 8 or 9 o'clock Eastern. It'll be a later stream tonight. I'll give you guys the details. Check out my Twitter at goal_hockey. I will let you guys as soon as possible in terms of the exact time I'll be live streaming. So stay tuned for tonight. Mike LaBelle says Kane wants to be close to home, Buffalo, so he can be rude to another cab driver. That's great, Mike. Thank you for that. Thank you for joining the chat. Guys, if you have not already, make sure to like the stream as well. It helps us out here at Goal Line Hockey. Should stream all day with this lineup. I think I'm going to take a break. I've been live streaming here for almost 3 hours. It's been a long afternoon, so I'm going to take a little break, but we are going to come back. Guys, like I said, don't be surprised if I live stream within the next hour or two. It might be 8 or 9 o'clock. It depends on how things go. But guys, thank you so much for watching us here. I will see you guys again later. And thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.